with an 8.5 game. And boy, the Cubs have had an opportunity also. They did win their last 3 until losing yesterday, 11-10. Here's Bernard Gilkey. He had 2 out of 4 yesterday, a 2-run homer included. Pitch a little bit low. Now Gilkey's been hot against Bosky. 4 out of 7 against Bosky with a home run included. Fouls it off. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Joe Torre was a fine hitter in his own right, winning a batting title in the National League, hitting .360. Had to convince Gilkey that he was a good 2-strike hitter. Bernard had a tendency to swing at every first pitch. Now he's a little more patient, and it's paid off with a batting average over .300.
Held it up in time. 2 balls and the strike. Detroit leads Toronto by 3 in the American. There's Lee Smith, who picked up his 21st save yesterday. All 3 inside. Bernard Gilkey. You know, it's almost unbelievable. There's a high pop foul out of play. Playing at home, you pound out 19 hits, of which 3 are homers. You score 10 runs, and you lose the ball game because they got 11. Cubs didn't have a single pitcher get by unscathed. Foul ball out of play. Funny thing, when you get great pitching and lose, you say it takes runs to win. You get a lot of runs and lose, you say it takes good pitching to win. The truth is the combination. There's the drive. Left center field, extra bases. And Gilkey is on his way to second base with a double. And it seems to me the Cardinals start again right where they left off yesterday.
Well, this is a fastball right down the middle. As you see it there, it's just far too much of the plate. And when a pitcher makes a fastball pitch in that area, he's going to get hurt. And Sean Bosky did get hurt on that one. Very rarely will you get a mistake middle in, especially on a 2-2 or 3-2 count. And Gilkey just crushed that ball. So an ominous beginning to this particular game.
So Gilkey now is 5 out of 8 against the pitching of Bosky. Sanchez behind the runner, no play. Here is Ozzie Smith, 38-year-old shortstop. He was going to bunt, takes the strike.
Ozzie knows that his job is to make sure that Gilkey gets to third base. And he's going to do it by either laying it down, but the way he swung the bat yesterday, he's going to be trying to pull Sean Bosky. For his part, Bosky is going to try to get him to hit the ground ball to the left side and maybe keep Gilkey at second.
The pitch inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ozzie drove in 6 runs yesterday, a career high. And the aces are high. He's number 1 on the back of his uniform. Bouncing ball. They stop his streak, but he advances Gilkey to third as Sanchez throws out Ozzie Smith. That brings up Greg Jeffries.
Ozzie Smith this month has been absolutely unbelievable. As you look at it, updated to that particular at-bat, hitting .361. Plus, he's driven in 13 runs. You know, last year, he drove in 31 all year. He already has 32.
There's the pitch in there, a strike call. Jeffries had only 1 out of 5 yesterday, but against Bosky, he's been perfection, 2 out of 2. Runner at third, only 1 out. Started a swing held up, and the count is evened up.
So far, Bosky has missed with all of his breaking pitches, leaving only the fastball to get over the plate. And he would certainly like to see that change. And speaking of that, here's a changeup, and let's see if it's a good one.
A bouncing ball, a run will score. Whoop! Sandberg fumbles the ball. And what caused that fumble at the last minute? He looked up to see what the runner at third, Gilkey, was doing. And then he fumbled the ball.
Looks to me like Rhino just allowed this ball to play him, and very rarely will he do that. You see Rhino waiting back on this hopper. Right here he just plants, waits back, and the ball just comes up and bites him. And it goes as an error on Sandberg. It will go as a run batted in. That's number 37 for Jeffries.
Here's Ray Langford. He was 1 for 5 yesterday. Boy, the better hitters, Jeffries, Langford, Witten, and Zeal, had a total of 3 hits between them in 20 times at bat. But the rest of the crew had a robust day.
You see the value of what Ozzie Smith did with Gilkey at second base. He chopped the ball in the infield, making sure Gilkey could get to third. Now, normally, if he doesn't get him over, there's runners at first and third, nobody's scored. You're still in a double play situation. As it is, Cardinals up 1-0. And the execution on the part of Jeffries, very good. On the part of Smith, very good on the play.
Bosky with a good move, almost picked Jeffries off first. Jeffries, our leading base stealer, with 17. Big lead. The throw. He's back. 1-0 in favor of St. Louis. The Cardinals have moved 8.5 behind Philadelphia. There's a strike off. And just as there is a big Chicago connection with the Cardinals, who have a lot of former Cub players, so is there a St. Louis connection with the Phillies, whose manager, Jim Fregosi, managed in the Cardinal farm system, and Lee Thomas, the general manager, came from St. Louis. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Ray Langford, the hitter, batting .280. Quick throw, he's back. Langford only 2 out of 12 against the pitching of Bosky during his career. Hot day in Chicago. He swings and he misses. 1-2 the count. Langford yesterday struck out 3 times. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out, 1 on. 1-0 St. Louis. There a moment ago you saw Ozzie Smith talking with Geronimo Pena, the second baseman. Two pitch. Quick throw, runner back.
This is a good time for the straight change. And that's how he got the little tapping ground ball off the bat of Jeffries. And that would be a good pitch to Langford here, as Langford very susceptible to anything off speed. Also a very good pitch to run for Jeffries.
Way outside. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, he threw the straight change, but didn't come anywhere close. And fortunately, Jeffries was not going, because that would have been an easy stolen base with the off-speed pitch.
And so Jeffries will be going now, even though there's only 1 out. There he goes. Fouled into the upper deck. Boy, it's difficult to understand Greg Jeffries, a standout shortstop, came up with the Mets. Wound up playing short, second, third. Went to Kansas City where he played third a lot, second a lot. There goes Jeffries. Swung, struck him out. The throw. He out at second base. A double play on the strikeout. So, 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error, nobody left. We go in the bottom of the first. Redbirds lead 1-0.
We're going to have to bail.
What about the Bud Light?
No time. There's only 1 left. You take it. I'll never forget you.
If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Not so fast. Yes.
My customers look to me, to True Value, for something they can't get in those big warehouse stores. They know I'll take time to answer their questions, and I've got the right products. Real True Values.
Like this Black & Decker Deluxe 18-inch shrub and hedge trimmer. It has double-edged blades, and it's just $34.99. And this True Temper Homeowner's Wheelbarrow. It has a 4 cubic foot capacity, and it's only $24.99.
You know, the name says it all. True Value.
In today's uneasy economy, insurance companies face one financial hazard after another. But one has held a steady course. That company is Aflac.
Upper Deck asked a few average card collectors whose cards they collect.
I collect Steve Young. I collect endorsements. I collect back doctors and surgeons.
Rings.
I collect fines.
I just collect fishing lures. The musky dingbat.
Dingbat. I have a 56 powder blue Chevy. Powder blue? Ferrari. I collect Reggie. Rolls Royce. Reggie. Really? Not.
Yeah. The smooth. Original interior, original carpet, drives like a dream.
Find what you're looking for at Sport Mart.
Like Louisville Sluggers TPX Little League bats, $69.97 each.
And that's just part of the Sport Mart advantage.
The Pepsi Cubs lineup is as follows with Dwight Smith leading off. Vizcaíno at third, Sandberg at second. Grace at first, May and left, Wilkins catching. Sammy Sosa in right, Sanchez at short, Sean Bosky pitching, and the defensive alignment for the Cardinals is Gilkey in left, Langford in center, Whitman in right, Zeal, Smith, Pena, and Jeffries around the infield. Arocha pitching, Pagnazzi catching, and the pitch. He tried to bunt his way on. There you see Jake Finley and Terry Pearson and all the Anheuser-Busch people watching the game in the WGN-TV box. And Maury Povich is with us here today. There's a line drive foul. And at the end of this inning, we're going to have a chance to talk to him. I know you watched his show a number of times. So happy he's on Channel 9. Ground ball, easy out. Arocha over to first. And Dwight Smith is retired.
Arocha is a very good pitcher, and although he's a rookie, he's anything but that after pitching on 3 World Championship teams with the Cuban national team. Look at the numbers right there. Arocha is absolutely unbelievable with his control. Only 5 walks this year, and he faced the Cubs in St. Louis. He gave up 6 hits and 3 runs, got a no decision as the Cubs beat St. Louis 5-3.
Here now is Vizcaíno. He had 3 out of 6 yesterday. You know, for Maury Povich, I imagine he was to many, many baseball camps, especially in spring training. His dad, Shirley Povich, of course, an outstanding columnist. I think it was for the Washington Post. Here's a pitch, he swings and he misses.
Let's take a look at the strike him out, throw him out to end the first inning. Wilkins comes up firing. They cut down Jeffries. And Carrex donates $100 to Cubs Care for that inning-ending double play.
1 ball, no strikes. Vizcaíno. 3 out of 6 now, up to 348. He's among the outstanding hitters of the league. He's 5th now. Galarraga still leads with a 4.33 batting average. Followed by Kruk, 362. Barry Bonds, 359. Orlando Merced, 353. And then Vizcaíno. He swings and he strikes him out. He reached for an outside pitch and they're 2 away.
Arocha was signed by the Cardinals after they obtained his rights in a lottery selection. He defected to the United States from Cuba on July 10th of 91 after playing on 3 World Championship amateur teams with the Cuban national team. And this man knows how to pitch. That's what Joe Torre says about him, the fact that he changes speeds consistently, has a good curveball, a very good straight change, and you very rarely see the same velocity twice.
2 out, nobody on. Ryan Sandberg, 2 out of 4 yesterday. His average now up to 311. He's hit well against the Cardinals. A high pop foul could be caught, and it is by Pagnazzi to retire the side. 1-2-3. At the end of 1-0 Cardinals.
The official forecast for summer 1993. Light to moderate breezes, cooler temperatures, and gently falling utility bills. Conditions are expected to persist for the next 20 to 45 years. Other than that, everything's quiet. Hunter, the quiet fan.
In this throwaway, disposable world, it's nice to find things that last. Relationships, neighborhoods, and the businesses in them. Like your neighborhood 76 station. For years, folks have relied on 76 for quality gasolines to help keep their engines clean and running smooth. Nothing lasts forever, but we think a long, long time would be nice. 76. Go with the spirit. Norelco shaves incredibly close in exceptional comfort because Norelco's lift and cut system lifts the hair so when it's cut, it can drop below skin level without the blades touching your face. So with every shave, Norelco makes clothes comfortable.
Harry Carey and Steve Stone, and with us now Maury Povich, whose dad Shirley was such an outstanding sports columnist, and that's why I just guess you had to be at many a spring training camp.
Harry, this is, I mean, it is so, you have no idea how it just warms my heart to see this. A Friday afternoon games, and I know we can go on and on, but I want to tell you I live in New York, and I want you to know the Yankees, for a rubber game, could have swept the Red Sox the other night. Can't draw 25,000 people. And here you are on a Friday afternoon with a team that's 500, close to 500.
There's a line drive in the right field. Sammy Sosa on the run. Could not hold on to the ball. He almost made a tremendous catch, but the ball oozed out of his glove as he hit the grass.
We'll take a look at it, and it looks like he might have trapped this one anyway. As Sammy comes on, the ball is diving in front of him, despite the fact that the wind is blowing out. Joe West comes in. This ball hits the grass in front of him. He would have trapped it anyway, but there is no catch, and it goes as a base hit.
Maury, about the Yankees situation, is it the neighborhood?
Well, I think that's beginning to have an effect. I mean, I never thought that was. I'm a season ticket holder, so I go. But I think it's having an effect. And Steinbrenner, of course, is latching onto it, and he is just milking it with the governor of New York plus the New Jersey officials, and he's it looks like he's going to try to make a deal.
They say that they're talking about building a new ballpark in the middle of Manhattan.
I know. But you know, Harry, I mean, you've been to Yankee Stadium plenty of times. Steve's pitched there. It would be a shame, I think, to lose Yankee Stadium. Don't you think so?
Well, I didn't win there much, so I wouldn't mind seeing it gone because they had a lot of good left-hand hitters. But I agree with you, Maury. It's an institution, and you certainly hate to see the old good stadiums go by the boards.
Tom Zeil's a hitter. He's having a tough year, hitting only .233. Hey, tell me about Connie.
Connie's doing
Beautiful
great.
Connie. She's talented, Connie.
Yeah, now I've lost her. I've lost her to Dan Rather.
I was just going to ask you, there's a long drive going way back. Dwight Smithson up against the fence. Here comes the runner on third, racing to the plate. The relay, safe. And the Cardinals are leading 2-0. Zeil really hit that ball, and he just missed the homer and hit the top of the ivy out in straightaway center field.
Sean Bosky threw a lot of waist-high fastballs when he was trying to make the club in spring training, and he's back throwing them waist-high again. And the Cardinals are hitting the ball too well at this time of the year to get away with that. So he drives in run number 27. It's a good relay by Dwight Smith, and a very good throw in, just not in time to get Witten as he scores the second run. And the Cubs, once again, down early in this one.
Geronimo Pena, the second baseman, a switch-hitting second baseman to pitch. Curveball outside. What I wanted to ask you, I bet you the first thing you say to her when she gets home after the news, what did Dan say to you today?
I know. And how close was he sitting to you?
I'm sure you're worried. Here's the pitch. He swings and he misses, and the count is even up.
Am I wrong, or is this a different Cardinal team than we're used to seeing? I mean, it's hitting a lot better than it used to, didn't it?
Well, they only won 11-10 yesterday.
Wow, I saw that when I was coming out here.
17 hits. Here's a pitch swung on. A high pop fly. Sanchez under fair territory. He has it, one away. I don't know whether it's their hitters are so much better, or whether the pitching they're batting against is so much worse. You know, we got a whole pitching staff on the disabled list, so they hardly are seeing our better pitchers.
Right. But it does look like a different Cardinal team than the days of Whitey Herzog, that's for sure.
Well, they still can run, though. They always could run. Here's a pitch inside. How do you find your show on Channel 9?
I love the Channel 9 people. They've been so good to me, and I like to know that on days like this, when you start at 2:20 in the afternoon, we're your lead-in. I like being your lead-in.
Here's the pitch. Swung on, a foul ball out of play. Well, why do they treat all you foreign talent so much better than they treat Steve and I and Arnie and all our local talent?
Oh, no. You're the kings of the hill here. Are you kidding, Harry?
Yeah, but you got all the fringe benefits.
No. I remember when...
Here's a pitch, a drive, center field, hit hard, but right at Dwight Smith. Boy, I tell you, when we do get them out, they seem to, the smoke seems to be coming out of the ball. Two gone.
I'll tell you, the best year I had, one of the best years I ever had, Harry, was when I was here in 1977 working at Channel 5 as an anchor, and used to come out and watch you and our dear old friend Bill Veck at Comiskey Park in the old days, and it was great.
We really lost the type of an owner they could really use these days. An owner who thought about the enjoyment of the fans sitting in the seats rather than the bottom line. You know, Bill was not above making as much money as he possibly could, but he believed in making every day at the ballpark like New Year's Eve for the spectators.
He just loved to watch the fans having fun. And he would sit up there with you and sit up in the press box, and I used to talk to him year after year, and it was just a joy to see what pleasure he was getting out of it.
There's a pitch a little bit inside to Arocha.
But this is still, I must say, this
Oh, no
is
doubt
still
about
a unique setting here.
This Fenway Park and Tigers Stadium, and they're the old ballpark.
Oh, yeah.
And now, of course, Camden Yards.
Yeah, Harry, you gotta get a chance to see it. I know Steve said that he was able to see it last year, and Connie and I went to opening day, the first day it was open last year. We had so much fun. We had a great time.
They say it reminds you of Fenway, Wrigley Field.
Yeah, there's a lot of this here, and a lot of Fenway.
There's a pitch outside. 2-0 in favor of the Cardinals. And if the Cubs can hold them within reason, 2 or 3 or 4, they proved yesterday they can come back and score a lot of their own runs, but not as many as 11.
Well,
2 balls, 2 strikes. Struck him out to end the inning. So, 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left. We go in the bottom of the second, 2-0 St. Louis.
Duty, honor, country.
Brilliant, decisive, controversial.
That man's trying to start World War III, and I'm trying to prevent it. I will not be the leader of another lost cause.
One of America's greatest military minds, Gregory Peck, MacArthur. Tonight at 7 on Channel 9.
I used pressure-treated lumber, and I still have $800 in water damage. How come?
Even treated wood needs Thompson's Water Seal waterproofer. Without Thompson's, you're wide open for water damage. Thompson's. Don't wait until it's too late.
The insurance business can be a hazardous place, an uneasy economy, a jagged stock market, failed real estate, junk bonds. One company protects its policyholders by shunning risky investments, offering solid supplemental insurance coverage, combining prudent judgment with dedicated service. That company is Aflac. Aflac, insuring over 35 million people worldwide.
So I'm barbecuing for 30. I got the best steaks, I got the cheap charcoal, and I got burned.
Fire's out!
Don't get burned by cheap charcoal. Buy the best.
Kingsford, the surefire. A Day at the Park, the book about beautiful Wrigley Field based on over 5,000 photographs being taken at the park today. Call 1-800-274-0929.
A brave reporter, a political murder, a deadly cover-up. Andy Garcia, Amy Irving, and Robert Duvall. A show for
Sunday night at 11:30 on Channel 9.
Harry Carey and Steve Stone back at the ballpark. Maury Povich is with us. Now, Maury, I know you've been around baseball all your life. And we had Bob Costas in the other day.
Oh, my gosh, he's a pro.
And now, how about you doing a little play-by-play?
All right, I'll do a better.
Don't feel any pressure. This is not an audition.
Okay. Mark Grace.
No, but Derek.
We're going to stay.
Grace.
We're going to start with Mark Grace. 3 for 5 yesterday. He's one of the best. 335. I'll tell you, if you wanted to start a team, why not him? On the outside corner.
You got that right.
He's your classic. This will be out of play.
Watch it.
Oh, no, look at this.
The wind blows here.
I thought that was halfway up in the seats. And now I'm taking a look and I see wind blowing to right field. Okay.
I might mention that Maury Povich's show is seen on WGN TV at 1 p.m. every afternoon.
Thank you very much, Harry. We've been we're going to finish our second year. We start our third in September, and we're very happy, and particularly about WGN. Oh, don't show me in that
This
place.
is
I got
closed
glasses
caption.
on. Yeah, closed caption, right. I got glasses on, my gray hair.
That reminds me
and
of
Grace steps out because he saw me.
That reminds me of Rush Limbaugh.
Up and outside. Now I'm looking for a count. I can't see a count.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Here we go. 2 and 2.
Put your glasses on.
Okay, I'll put my glasses on. Here we go. Foul tip.
Closed caption for the baseball impaired.
That's right. I'll tell you, I did a game when I was 20 years old. I used to work for Bob Wolf when he did the old Senators games. And let's see if we can get through this pitch. It's very funny, Harry. You'll enjoy this. Popped up, short center or mid center. One down. Okay, May was 3 for 5 yesterday, and he's hitting .305. Hey, these kids can hit.
Oh, yeah. Our biggest problem, Maury, has been our pitching staff, and I already have mentioned that so many of them are on the disabled list, and it's sure tough to win when that happens.
I mean, these averages are huge. 305, 335 for Grace, 311 for Sandberg. But he was hurt for a while.
Yeah.
He's back. Well, 348 for Viscano. I mean,
not only was Sandberg hurt, but our regular shortstop, Sean Dunston, still is out of action.
Looked like he wanted to call for time, and he didn't get it in.
Well, that's what happens when a pitcher works quickly, and that's why we keep talking about the Cub pitchers working more quickly. Arocha just wants to get the ball and throw it. The hitter isn't ready, and Derek May got charged with a strike on a pitch where he was completely unable to hit the ball.
0-2. Well, that's so rare today, a pitcher who wants to work fast, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, you have Rick Sutcliffe now with the Baltimore Orioles, so you're familiar with deliberate workers.
Yeah. 2-2.
Rick's had a great couple of years over there.
Boy, he has.
What a wonderful man he is.
Yeah, I mean, were you surprised by that, Harry, or not?
That he's having a good year?
That he had those good years? Because there was some suspicions. This is fouled behind third base.
Well,
that he had his best years.
They're seeing him for the first time, and he had a sore arm here, and it takes longer than 1 year at times for a sore arm to recover, and apparently, with the team he's got behind him, he's become a much more effective pitcher.
Foul tip. Now, Derek May, I'm not familiar with. Tell me about it.
Well, his dad was an outfielder in the American League and the National League. He was a short, stocky hitter, and Derek May's about 6'3". And that's always the case with the younger generation or the second generation. I guess because of taking more vitamins as a youngster or something.
But I think it's great that you have so many sons of former major leaguers around. I think it's terrific. And how about that? After 0-2, he milks a walk out of it. It's another guy who's hitting pretty well.
Rick Wilkins, a fine young catcher. He certainly is.
Look at that. 12 home runs, 21 RBIs.
Hey, Arnie, our director wants to know from you, how do you find all these characters you put on
Can you
your
imagine?
show?
I mean,
Is nothing sacred anymore?
There is nothing sacred. I mean, I thought there were a few things, but I've come to believe that there aren't any. And I still am astonished at what people will talk about on television. That was a little outside the strike zone.
How big a staff must you have to find these kind of people?
We have 40 young, aggressive producers, and they scour the newspapers, look at wire machines, and a lot of our material now comes from viewers who call up, see the show, see what's on it, and say, let me tell you what's happening in our town. And we check it out like any news organization. Hey, this is something.
Line single to center. So Wilkins drove a line drive to center field, and the Cubs are threatening Maury with runners at first and second, only one out. And here's the star of yesterday's game for the Cubs. He hit 2 home runs, good for 5 RBIs. Sammy Sosa.
He's been great for you, hasn't he?
He really has. Total of 11 homers now.
He doesn't ease up on his swings, does he?
No, sometimes a lot of players, a lot of baseball people think that he'd be a better hitter if he did ease up on his swing. That he swings too hard. But I didn't hear anybody say that yesterday when he hit the 2 home runs.
This is a big batter right now in this inning. 2 on, 1 out. And he held up. 2-0. Which means usually with 2 men on and 1 out, Steve, he's going to get a pretty good pitch here.
Let me give you a little tip. For a guy, we're in television, right? Now there's the monitor.
Yeah.
Don't try to see what's happening on the field. Watch that guy.
Okay. Here we go.
Make it easier for
All right, here we are.
He foul tipped it.
The answer on the good pitch was no. He'll get a fastball in and probably foul it off.
These pitchers are too good, huh?
Well, Arocha's been around, and this is not the normal rookie. He's a man that's been involved in international play, a little bit older than the normal rookie, a little bit smarter. And I wouldn't be surprised if on the 2-1 pitch he gives Sammy a breaking ball to swing at. Probably away.
Line drive foul. You know, this Rocha is out of Havana, Cuba.
It's amazing. Is he the only one of the Cuban players who've come over?
I think there's several. I don't know who else, but I know he's defected. And I imagine once that situation is resolved...
Wow, you could get some players.
Great ball players.
Like the old days, Harry, right?
Right.
Pre-Castro. With some great Cuban ball players. And I was around a lot of them. I was with the Senators the days of Pedro Ramos and Camilo Pascual and all the Cubans from the American League in the mid-50s, late 40s, mid-50s.
Let's pause here for our identification.
This is WGN-TV Chicago, America's #1 sports station.
All right, Maury.
2-2.
That's going to drop.
This is drop, maybe. Here we go.
They got the force out at third base. Boy, oh boy. Derek May was afraid the ball would be caught, so it is not a base hit. The left fielder Gilkey threw to Todd Zeal for the force out.
Now, what could Lefebvre be arguing about here? I mean, he was clearly out, wasn't he?
No doubt about it. Yeah, he's out.
Well, he's out easy at third, and I think you're right, Maury. I don't know what Jim Lefebvre is arguing about. He was out by 1.5 feet at third base. And the play was called right. All you ask for is a good umpire rotation. With Darling going out to make sure if Gilkey catches the ball, Charlie Williams coming up the line to get a look at the play, and Charlie was in position to make the call. Darling was in position to make the call in left field, and the umpires got it right.
All right, there's 2 out now, Maury. Get a hit from
Ray Sanchez. Let's see if we can at least get 1 home here. Have the lead. I was going to tell you before this batter, one game I broadcast, Bob Wolf in 1959 had the laryngitis, and I was doing the Senators. Harmon Killebrew's up, Tiger Stadium. He has to leave, so I'm the only person there. He says, do this inning. I get up. I am 19 years. I'm so excited. Harmon Killebrew hits the ball out of Tiger Stadium. And here's my play-by-play. It's the longest home run I've ever broadcast. It's the first home run I've ever broadcast.
There's the drive. That's a fair ball. 1 run is in for the Cubs. The tying run racing to the plate. 2-2 tie. I had to get in there, Maury.
I love it. I love it. I just love it. I was frozen. I had lockjaw. You bailed me out.
So a 2-run double by Ray Sanchez has tied it up. This is Bosky.
This is great. Yeah, here's your pitcher, Sean Bosky, and what, not a bad hitter?
Pretty good hitter, yeah.
I'm having more fun than my show, that's just for sure.
You want to see how hot it is down there. Look at the shirt of Charlie Williams, the umpire.
No, we're only in the 2nd inning. Ground ball to short. Should be easy. That's the inning, but I got a tie.
Okay. At the end of 2 innings, the score is tied up 2-2.
A participating advertiser in Cubs baseball is Montgomery Ward, where things are really changing.
Bud Light, please.
Tonight's ladies' night, and there's a special on Bud Light.
If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Oh, no, it's Ted from accounting.
The name True Value on my store gives me a good feeling. It means I give my neighborhood a lot more than hardware. I'm here with the right answers, the right products, and true values.
This Toro Super Blower and vac has variable speeds and even shreds leaves. It's just $69.99. Then control insects with orthomalathion or diazinon spray. And kill weeds with their cleanup bonus pack. Just $9.99 each.
You know, the name says it all. True Value.
The insurance business can be a hazardous place, an uneasy economy, a jagged stock market, failed real estate, junk bonds. One company protects its policyholders by shunning risky investments, offering solid supplemental insurance coverage, combining prudent judgment with dedicated service. That company is Aflac. Aflac, insuring over 35 million people worldwide.
The Chris Everett Special. Celebrity interviews from a celebrity's point of view.
Sunday night at 10:30 on Channel 9.
Harry Carey back at Wrigley Field. Maury Povich with us now has left the booth. And remember, his show is on WGN-TV, Channel 9 at 1 o'clock each afternoon. The Aflac trivia question. Ozzie Smith had 5 hits yesterday. Who was the last Cub to get 5 hits in one game? My guess is
Andre Dawson.
Dawson, he's not up there.
Well, none of the above.
Oh, well, either Cardinal or Sandberg. It seems to me, I remember Cardinal getting 5 hits. Seems to me also Sandberg. Gilkey leading off here in the 3rd. Now, yesterday, all day long, the Cubs kept fighting back, but as soon as the Cardinals would come to bat, they regained the lead again. Let's see if Bosky can get them out long enough for the Cubs to take a lead. Strong, and he missed.
Jerry Napleton of Napleton Buick on hand, as is Dick Wilkins of Don McAuliffe Buick.
Two balls, 2 strikes. There's a drive, way back, no doubt about it, on Waveland Avenue. Oh, boy. Same thing as yesterday. Now, the last 2 days, it looks to me like the opposition has known everything that's being thrown. So it wasn't just Frank Castillo who perhaps has been tipping off his pitches. The guy's been working the last 2 days of beginning hit harder than they would be in batting practice.
Well, you see the fastball, and it's waist high, and you just can't win throwing waist high fastballs.
Here's Ozzie Smith.
Home run number 4, run batted in number 22, and the Cardinals regain the lead as Gilkey, who has been red hot, continues crushing the ball.
That's the 3rd straight day he's had a homer. Ozzie Smith has the cut. A ball and a strike. 3-2 St. Louis. They've scored 1 every inning. They already have 2 doubles and a homer. 1 ball, 1 strike. Boy, look at Charlie Williams' shirt.
You see the heat affecting Bernard Gilkey as he went to the ice-cold towel and probably a little ammonia on that.
Swung and he foul-tipped it.
Cub fans, get your free copy of the 1993 Cubs gift catalog by calling toll-free 1-800-745-CUBS. Cubs gift catalog offers hundreds of unique and exciting gifts for your favorite Cubs fan. Call and order your Cubs gift catalog today at 1-800-745-CUBS.
Low, ball two. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The Cardinals, who had 17 hits yesterday, have 4 already today. Ground ball hit for right field. Nice play by Sandberg. Throws them out. Here's Greg Jeffries, safe on an error by Sandberg in the first.
Cub fans, entertain your friends or clients in the best seats in the house. Rent a Cubs mezzanine skybox at Wrigley Field. Plenty of dates are available for the rest of the season. So for more information, call 312-404-4068.
Jeffries takes the strike over the outside corner. Pulled it foul. Matt Williams hit his 20th homer last night to take the lead over his teammate Barry Bonds, who has 19. High fly ball, short right center field. Sanchez goes out, makes a nice play. 2 away.
Ray Sanchez got a good break on that ball, and with the wind blowing out, it helped carry that ball out, and he made the catch. And what a good catch it was. As the Cubs continue to get good play out of Vizcaino and Sanchez. Dwight Smith couldn't get this one. Derek May was nowhere near it, and Sanchez made the play himself. And now the wind is starting to shift, and that's usually the sign of it cooling off. And unfortunately today, the sign that the rains will be in the offing.
Ray Langford. Hot smash foul. Three to 2 in favor of the Cardinals. Bucky Dent coaching at third base. John Hubbard at first. There's the pitch low. 2 balls and a strike. We're in the top of the third. Ground ball. Sandberg over the first to retire the side. 1 run, 1 hit. We go in the bottom of the third, 3 to 2 in favor of St. Louis.
What? Oh, guard dog. Oh, very scary. Finally, the good stuff.
If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Around here, folks believe in making things last. Relationships, neighborhoods, and the family automobile. And who wouldn't want to see that 100,000-mile mark? So it's no wonder so many rely on their neighborhood 76 station. Here you'll find quality gasolines and services to help keep your car humming along. We can't promise you'll see that 100,000-mile mark, but we're glad to help you try. 76. Go with the spirit.
The in-your-face fadeaway. Arc times velocity equals a 3-point shot. Translation, Electric Avenue beats the shorts off of Sears.
Scotty, just look at the Electric Avenue All-Star lineup. Sony, Panasonic, RCA, Apple, Maytag, GE. Plus, Electric Avenue will match any store's advertised price, guaranteed.
Teeny little guys, weren't they?
Time magazine calls it a terrific movie. Robert De Niro. Brazil. Monday night at 11:30 on Channel 9.
With help from CARE, millions of people around the world are building better lives every day. Help make a world of difference. CARE.
Harry Carey with Steve Stone and Tom Brenneman will be along at the end of this half inning. Dwight Smith on the first pitch. Bounce down to Jeffries, and there's one away. As Vizcaino fanned his first time up. 3-2 in favor of the Cardinals. Here's a pitch foul in front of the Cub dugout.
Arocha walked Derek May in the second inning, and that led to a run. That's most unusual for him. This man has as good a control as there is in the major league.
There's a long drive, right center field, on the run. Nobody can get to it. Vizcaino around second. He's going to make third, easily, standing up. Vizcaino tripled to straightaway center field. Langford recovered the ball.
That's the third triple of the year for Vizcaino as he gets a slider out over the plate and drives it into the alley in right center. Now the wind has shifted. It's blowing in now, and that shows you that Jose Vizcaino, for whatever reason, is hitting the ball a lot harder than he normally has, and he's got pretty decent speed, uses it to coast into third base easily enough, and the Cubs have the tying run in scoring position, and that's a 7-game hitting streak for Jose Vizcaino.
Sandberg with a chance to tie it up or put the Cubs ahead if he hits a long one. He fouled out his first time up. The infield conceding the run for the out. Playing back. Inside, ball 2.
I'd like to pass along happy birthday greetings to a big Cub fan at the ballpark today, Julie Koenig, enjoying her birthday at beautiful Wrigley Field. And so far, it is a beautiful day, but the temperature has dropped about 10 degrees in the last 5 minutes, and that's a good sign.
Here's a pitch under a strike call. Speaking of happy birthday, Tim Huizinga of Oak Brook, who's related to Wayne Huizinga of the Florida Marlins, who won again last night, celebrating his 16th birthday. Sandberg swings and misses. Here's the answer to the Aflac trivia question. Alex Arias at Pittsburgh.
Well, I got none of the above, but I forgot about Alex.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Now the pitch swung and he fouled it. You know, Jake Finley, our director of sports sales, spent a vacation down in the Caribbean at St. Martin's Island, where he met Jack and Jerry, die-hard Cubs fans, at Rick's Sports Bar on the island. They watch every game down there. There's a base hit, and the score is tied again. Sandberg drives in his 23rd run of the year. And this is a tied-up ball game. All we need is for some pitcher to stop him.
For some reason, they keep throwing Sandberg inside fastballs, and he's now starting to get in a groove where he very rarely misses those. And he takes the opposite field route, driving in his 23rd, and the Cubs, once again in this seesaw affair, have tied it up.
All right, Jack and Jerry watching at Rick's Sports Bar on St. Martin's Island. Instead of dancing on the beach, buy the house a drink. A cold bottle of Budweiser will do. Thank you. Grace fouls it back. 0-2 the count. Speaking of Budweiser, Don Nystrom of River North Distributing with a group of fans in his box. There's a high pop fly on the infield. Easy out, Ozzie Smith. And here's Derek May. The Cubs would have scored more runs, but for an unusual play that robbed Sammy Sosa the hit. His fly ball dropped in short left for what ordinarily would be a hit. But Gilkey fielded the ball on one bounce, fired to the third baseman, Zeal, and they forced May, who hesitated, fearing the ball might be caught. So instead of a base hit for Sammy, he merely is charged with a force out.
Sandberg 7 for 7 in the stolen base department.
High profile back.
Now, he hasn't run in many of these situations with the score tied early. And at least early in the count, Jim Lefevre, I'm sure, wants to keep the right side open for Derek May to hit through. But if he falls behind 0-2 or 1-2, that's a good opportunity for Sandberg to take off, although Pagnazzi, one of the best there is at throwing out base runners.
Swung, and he missed.
Now, let's see if Sandberg will be going here. You usually on 0-2 find a pitcher either throwing the breaking ball in the dirt or wide of the plate somewhere. Pagnazzi, in only his second game since coming back off the disabled list, maybe he doesn't have his rhythm down behind the plate.
The throw to first. Sandberg tied up the ball game with a single to right. Rick Wilkins hoping to hit in this inning. They're 2 out. Line drive base hit. He will hit this inning. Here's Sandberg. When the ball is fumbled, advancing to third. There'll be an air charge to Mark Whitten because Sandberg already stopped at second base.
This will be the second error of the year on Whitten as Arocha makes a mistake, 0-2. This one has a little too much of the plate. Sandberg stopping, respecting the arm of Whitten, but when he runs by it, it puts runners at the corners. So the Cubs already have done a lot more hitting against Rene Arocha than most clubs have done during the course of the games he's pitched this year, and Wilkins will have an opportunity to put the Cubs on top.
Wilkins singled the left his first time up. He's hitting .281 with 12 homers, 21 RBI. That's a funny series of numbers. 12 homers, 21 RBI. Sammy Sosa's hit 11 homers, driven in 33 runs.
Well, the big difference in the two is more times than not this year, Wilkins was hitting in the 8th spot, and he would get up with nobody on base. Someone would lay in a fastball, he'd hit a home run, but it would be a solo shot. Lately, he's been hitting up in the order. 6th today, and hitting in that spot, he'll drive in some more runs.
There's a pitch over the inside corner. A strike called. Wilkins is second in strikeouts to Sammy Sosa. Wilkins has fanned 36 times, Sosa 56 times. 0-2 the count. Struck him out on a bad pitch. So the Cubs score a run on 3 hits, 1 error, 2 men left. Harry Carey back at Wrigley Field.
Did you like Ray Stevens' last video?
Yeah, I did.
Well, here he comes again.
That burns
with a brand new video. Ray Stevens Live. 11 great songs, including Guitar Zan. Ahab the Arab. Shriners Convention. I saw Elvis in a UFO.
Saw Elvis in a UFO.
Misty.
Look at me.
That musical funny man is loose again. This time live on stage for almost 1 full hour of new zany family entertainment. Here's how to order.
For rush delivery, have your credit card ready and call 1-800-637-1122 or send $19.98 plus $4.50 shipping to Ray Stevens Live, P.O. Box 7008, Department 7, Tarzana, California. Or call now 1-800-637-1122.
There are many ways to save, like putting your money here or reading your money here in the Chicago Tribune.
Get your money in the Chicago Tribune.
Your Money is the new home of Chicagoland's best classified ads, localized for your area, and with a new, easier-to-use design. Save more with articles from the experts on autos, real estate, investing, and employment. Put your money to work for you Monday through Friday in the newspaper that pays for itself, the Chicago Tribune.
The true story of one of America's greatest military minds. Gregory Peck, MacArthur. Tonight at 7. Time magazine calls it a terrific movie. Robert De Niro. Brazil.
Monday night at 11:30 on Channel 9. Well, we're back at Wrigley Field, a 3-3 game in Game 2 of this 4-game series. And hello again, everybody. Back with our producer-director, Arnie Harris, and Steve Stone. I'm Tom Brenneman. Yesterday, 11-10, but it looks as though the wind has turned around now, blowing off Lake Michigan, so perhaps the ball will not carry as much here for the latter part of the game.
Well, it's certainly a lot cooler now. It's 10 degrees cooler than when we started. But, Tommy, we got to find somebody that can hold anyone down. It's been a hitter series so far.
And Mark Whitten leading off the Cardinal fourth, lifts one into left center field. Smitty calling off Derek May and has it for out number 1. Cardinals come in with a 4-game win streak, and they have picked up 3 games on the front-running Phillies in 3 consecutive days. They're 8.5 behind the front-runners.
Well, Philadelphia has not had a cold streak all year long, Tommy, and every team has at least 2 during the course of the year. This might be one of them, and the teams in the division now for the first time have a little hope.
Jack Buck, the Hall of Fame announcer for the Cardinals, was saying before the game that in the series preceding this one for St. Louis, it was against the Pirates, and he interviewed Pirate manager Jim Leland, and he asked Leland if anybody could catch Philadelphia. He said the Pirate fans aren't going to like hearing this, but no one will catch Philadelphia. The 0-2 delivery.
Well, that might prove true before the year is out, Tom. However, Jim Leland, as great a manager as he is not getting paid to be a prophet, just a manager. And Philadelphia, if they pile up a couple more injuries, and bear in mind they're hurt by the loss of Hollins, it's no mistake that they've lost 3 straight now. You never know.
Into center field. Smitty a step back now, coming in. And Zeal retired, 2 away. Not only David Hollins injured, but just a couple of nights ago, Chicago native Wes Chamberlain went down.
It's a long year, 162 games, and you have your peaks and valleys. And the Phillies have been on a peak for most of this season. They will have to live through the valleys, and then you'll see something about their ball club. I think if you evaluate all the teams, Tom, you'd have to say that with the pitching the Phillies have, they are the most solid team in the division.
Geronimo Pena looks at a strike.
But sometimes even the most solid team in the division will have some injuries that they just can't fight through. An injury perhaps to a closer, an injury to a top starter, or one of their keystone hitters, and you never know what happens.
Pena rarely gets a start against right-handers anymore. He tears up the left-handers, indicated by his .368 average, but from the left side, only .144.
Well, I talked to Joe Torre about just that after Alicea got 3 hits yesterday and was not in the lineup today. And he said, look, I got 2 guys who can play second base and play it very well. I've got to keep both of them sharp, and I decided to play Pena today, even though he's had a tough time hitting left-handed. He says also Alicea gives him a very potent weapon off the bench.
2-2, Bosky to Pena. Sean trying to have his first inning in which the Cardinals do not score a run.
You want to make sure that Pena hits his way on, especially from the left side where he's hitting just .144, because he is a fine base runner.
Break-even pitch on the way, and it's ball 3, so now they've gone the distance. And Bosky has gone 3-2 on a number of hitters already today. Sean making his first start of the '93 season. He appeared in 1 game on the 7th of April out of the bullpen. And he struck out Pena. Perfect fourth for Bosky. We go to the bottom of the inning. Cardinals and Cubs are tied at 3.
Duty, honor, country.
Brilliant, decisive, controversial.
That man's trying to start World War III, and I'm trying to prevent it. I will not be the leader of another lost cause.
One of America's greatest military minds, Gregory Peck. MacArthur. Tonight at 7 on Channel 9.
I don't need some fancy cologne to tell me I'm a man. I use Skin Bracer. It smells great, but it also cools and tones my skin. Confidence is very sexy. Don't you think? Skin Bracer Aftershave.
By Menon.
Matchlight Charcoal has just the right amount of lighter fluid already added. That's why there's only one match for Matchlight. Matchlight from Kingsford.
If you like baseball cards, you'll love Card Baseball, the new baseball board game that brings your cards to life. You'll use the stats from your favorite cards. It's fun, easy to play, and perfect for anyone 8 years and up.
Available at participating Osco stores.
We've changed our aisles. We've changed our styles. We've changed our lines. We've changed our signs. We've changed displays and we've changed our ways. Yes, things are changing at Montgomery Ward. Things are changing at Montgomery Ward.
Another huge crowd on hand, and that's normally the case whenever the Cubs and Cardinals get together. 3-3 as we head for the bottom half of the fourth. Cardinals had a 2-0 lead till Ray Sanchez delivered a 2-out, 2-run double in the third. Sosa fly ball to Langford in center field, 1 pitch and 1 out. Gilkey homered in the top of the third to give the Cardinals a lead by 1. But then Sandberg, after Vizcaíno had tripled, singled into short right center to tie things up.
Ernie Question's question today comes from 15-year-old Kimberly Wartenberg of Houston, Texas, and she wants to know, has any pitcher ever thrown a no-hitter and lost the game? And the answer to that is yes, a few times in the major leagues. I remember Andy Hawkins of the New York Yankees throwing one against the White Sox and losing, but now they've taken the no-hitter away from the pitcher who throws a no-hitter on the road and loses because he only goes 8 innings. I think that's kind of ridiculous. Guy pitches a no-hitter, it's a complete game, and doesn't get the no-hit credit for it. But Kimberly Wartenberg, it does happen occasionally. And we thank you for the inquiry. Keep on writing in. And it's a pretty good question.
Very good. That little fellow will be writing in one of these days. Right now, he's got other things to do. Zeal in front of Smith. Nice play, and it's in the dirt. And picked cleanly by Jeffries at first. Boy, I tell you, Greg Jeffries, for having never played first base, has finally found a home.
I think it's remarkable when you look at what Jeffries has done all around the infield, and then you see him at first base, because he was a liability defensively wherever both the Mets and Kansas City put him. But St. Louis decided when they traded for Jeffries he would be a first baseman. And he has played a wonderful first base, committing just 2 errors all year.
Sean Bosky, a good hitting pitcher. He is a converted third baseman, as many of you know. And he has hit a home run in the major leagues. Came against a good left-hander in Norm Charlton. Bosky bounced to short his only time up today. Three game, Cubs and Cardinals in game 2 of this series. Count goes to 1-2. Will come your way again tomorrow at 1 o'clock Central Time. And the same holds true for Sunday. Tomorrow's matchup, left-hander Donovan Osborne against Jose Guzman.
Jose coming off a stiff lower back, but he says it's feeling pretty decent now.
Down the right field line, hit hard, but Witten had him shaded that way and made a nice play in front of the padding to end the inning. And then flips the ball to the seats. We head for the 5th, tied at 3.
A participating advertiser in Cubs baseball is Buick and your local Buick dealers. Remember Buick, the new symbol for quality in America.
Here's the real beauty of Rust-Oleum protective coatings. A
a tough barrier against the elements. Rust-Oleum, the name that means protection.
To celebrate Buick's 90th anniversary, we proudly introduce the 90th anniversary LeSabre. LeSabre has a proven reputation for quality and the highest pre-sale value in its class. Now you get all this Buick quality, comfort, and elegance at a special anniversary price. The 90th anniversary Buick LeSabre. Quality its competition just can't hold a candle to.
Bud Light, please.
Tonight's ladies' night, and there's a special on Bud Light.
If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Oh, no, it's Ted from accounting.
Any deodorant will do if you're at a standstill. But movers and shakers needs a 24-hour power of Speed Stick antiperspirant. It's 110% protection against wetness and odor. 110% protection from movers and shakers. Speed Stick.
Hosted by Eddie Murphy, the exotic and tantalizing MTV Movie Awards.
Wednesday night at 7 on Channel 9.
Tom Brenneman back with Steve Stone at Wrigley Field in Chicago. 3-3 game, Redbirds and Cubs, as we're set to begin the fifth. Sean Bosky allowed single runs in each of the first 3 innings, had a perfect fourth. He'll face Pagnazzi, Rene Arocha, and then Bernard Gilkey in this 5th inning.
I love the pitch that Sean Bosky threw to end the 4th inning. A 3-2 straight change to Pena, who had no chance to hit it. Bosky can be successful if he does that, if he uses that straight change. There's about 10 to 12 miles an hour disparity between his fastball and his straight change. If he can keep the hitters off balance, he's got a shot. He's thrown a few fastballs in the middle of the plate waist high today, but outside of that, he's thrown the ball fairly decent.
Through the hole into left field, Pagnazzi with a base hit. Pagnazzi returned from better than a month on the disabled list with a surgically repaired left knee. He went 3 out of 5 yesterday, knocked in a run, and scored 3 times.
He was in a collision at home plate with Eric Young of Colorado in Colorado, and although he played after that, that started the knee problems, and eventually he did have to have the surgery, and in his place, Eric Pappas, the Chicago area product, had a great run at it.
Boy, did he ever. A 16-game hitting streak.
.329 batting average, and he drove in 10 runs. And as far as the Cardinals were concerned, Eric Pappas was a godsend for them.
Arocha's laid down a pair of sacrifices this year. That one almost hit him in the face. In fact, it did hit him. Or are they saying it's a strike?
I think it just nicked the bat. And Arocha's very happy that it didn't get part of him. He tries to get out of the way. Ooh. It didn't look like it hit the bat from that replay, so I don't know what it ticked, or what Charlie Williams thought it ticked, but it looked like it was a good inch or 2 away from the bat.
In the dirt, good play by Wilkins there to keep it in front of him. 2 balls and a strike. There you see Eric Pappas.
A nice young man, a former Cub. In fact, there's 5 former Cubs on this St. Louis team. A team that generally is known for execution, as Bucky Dent now talks with Rene Arocha. He's not a good hitter. He doesn't swing the bat particularly well, and they are charging him unbelievably. In fact, Jose Vizcaino is as close setting up as anybody I've ever seen.
Arocha shortened up. Now he pulls it back. He'll shorten up again and bunt it to Grace. Grace will go to second, and they get the force. The relay throw goes off the screen. But Arocha will not advance, so they get the lead runner. Grace had made up his mind immediately when the ball was bunted pretty hard right at him to go for second. He guns down Pagnazzi.
Well, the break is that it's Pagnazzi going to second base. Not a bad bunt, although it is a 2-hopper, and Grace, knowing a catcher's at first, knows he's got some time. Pagnazzi doing the best he can to try to break it up. And the fact that he slid in and looked like he might have cut Sanchez, well, no, I think Gray's got something in his eye, which is a lot better than getting cut on the play. You saw Pagnazzi go in kind of high with that front spike. And watch the slide again as Pagnazzi tries to break it up. Watch the front spike. He goes up and puts it right into the thigh of Ray Sanchez. Fortunately, he's not cut. And I think he's just got something, a little dirt or something in his eye, and he's going to be okay. Tommy, for those people who joined us a little bit later today, the report on Chuck McElroy is a good one. He just had a little heat problem, and he's going to be fine. He's in uniform. He says he's very tired, but he should be ready to pitch perhaps tomorrow or the next day, and that's good news.
Yeah, Jim Lefevre said he was scorching just to the touch down there in the dugout. We had a number of shots for you down there as John Fierro and Brett Fisher were trying to cool him off with ice, wrapped up in towels and so forth. It was very scary to see that take place in the dugout.
Well, Chuck said that he had lost the feeling in his hands and his legs and started to pass out, and that's what he kept on doing as they worked on him for about a half hour. But he said they ran an IV, filled him with some fluids, and he didn't have to spend the night in the hospital. He went home last night. And so everything okay at shortstop, and Sean Bosky will get back to the business at hand.
3-3 ball game, and the fans certainly enjoying this one. Yesterday, the Cardinals won it 11-10. Cardinals come in 8 games over 500. Cubs are 1 game under. And here's Gilkey, who's had a banner day already. Bernard Gilkey, you see, in his career, when he was first brought up to the major leagues, and what he has done ever since. You can make the home run total now 11, because he socked one in the 3rd inning today. And he really is a self-made player. This was a guy who was never drafted out of high school, a St. Louis native. Signed by the Cardinals after a tryout camp. Did not hit at all his first 3-4 years in the minor leagues, but then all of a sudden, he burst up through AA, AAA, and here he is, a regular player.
Well, the Cardinals spent a good deal of the time trying to give his position away. He came up a left fielder. They tried everybody there but Bernard Gilkey, but every time they put him in a game, he did nothing but hit. And he's continued to hit.
Went around too far. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Gilkey doubled and scored in the 1st inning. A solo home run to left center in the 3rd. And he got him swinging. 4 strikeout today by Sean Bosky.
Bosky has settled down since that 2nd inning. And he throws a good slider here, low and away, perfect place for it, especially when you're ahead of the hitter. And Gilkey goes down swinging. And I think Billy Connors has to be very happy with that particular pitch.
So now Ozzie Smith, 0 for 2, has bounced to short and grounded to Sandberg at 2nd. Looks at a strike. What a game it was for Ozzie Smith yesterday. 5 for 5, a career high, 6 runs batted in, 2 singles, 3 doubles.
This is smart defense on the part of the Cubs with Mark Grace playing in back of Arocha. He's not a stolen base threat. And Grace is behind him just to kind of plug up that hole on the right side, although Ozzie is not normally a dead pull hitter as a left-hand hitter.
0-2 delivery. And he bounces it right at Grace. He knocks it down, underhands to Bosky, and that'll do it. 1 hit, 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 5th, still tied at 3.
$45, 45 cents, 46 a pound, $4,700 home, $47.5.
What'll it be, fellas?
Make it a Bud Light.
Sorry, this is the last one.
Well, I think I'll take that one.
What do you want to give for it? I'm a 2 and a 10, give me 10, a 20 big, give me 20 now, 30, give me 30 now, 40 big, give me 40 now, 50, give me 50 now, 60 big, give me 60 now, 70, give me 70 now, 80.
If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Bud Light, please.
Sorry, boys. This is the last one.
To celebrate Buick's 90th anniversary, we proudly introduce the 90th anniversary LeSabre. LeSabre has a proven reputation for quality and the highest pre-sale value in its class. Now you get all this Buick quality, comfort, and elegance at a special anniversary price. The 90th anniversary Buick LeSabre. Quality its competition just can't hold a candle to.
Now at Six Flags Great America, the all-new Batman Stunt Show. Explosive action, electrifying stunts, and all those wonderful toys. There's even the incredible Batmobile. All the greatest stunts Hollywood has to offer, right here at a theme park that's bigger than Disneyland and a whole lot closer. See the new Batman Stunt Show, only at Six Flags Great America. And don't miss the heart-pounding thrills of Batman, the ride.
The true story of one of America's greatest military minds. Gregory Peck, MacArthur. Tonight at 7.
I've given thousands of autographs, but the most important one is on my donor card.
To become a tissue donor, call 1-800-767-1200.
Well, now there's something you don't see very often. A Cub jersey and a Cardinal cap. That kid, I think, has an identity crisis.
Or a family evenly divided and not knowing which way to go yet. Perhaps as the game moves along and one team moves ahead, one of the apparel pieces will be dispatched.
Sure, the old front-runner trick. 3-3 ball game, top of the Cub order against RENE AROCHA. Smitty has bounced to the mound and grounded to Jeffries at first. He hits this one hard into left center. Langford on the run, and it's gone. Smitty a home run yesterday off Lee Smith, and he gives his team its first lead of the game today with a homer to the opposite field.
That's home run number 8, run batted in number 20, and Montgomery Ward donates $100 to Cubs Care for the blast off the bat of Dwight Smith. And Arocha tries to throw that fastball away from Smitty, and we know when he gets his arms out, he's as strong as anybody, and he takes it in the first row.
Well, the way the wind has turned around, I was very surprised that ball carried that far, because it's blowing out of the northeast now, which means in off Lake Michigan.
Well, early in the game, that one would have been at the top of the bleachers. This part of the game, that one in the first row. And Dwight, with all the handshakes, the high, low, and middle 5.
1 and 2 to Vizcaino. You take a look at the flags. Almost shifted again. Well, the old saying, if you don't like the weather in Chicago, give it 15 minutes. And there's strike 3 on the outside corner to Vizcaino. Third strikeout today by the native Cuban.
That was home run number 5 given up by Arocha.
You know, Stoney, years ago, before the Castro regime, of course, in Cuba, players were able to come over from that country, and the two immediately that come to mind, future Hall of Famers Tony Perez and Orlando Cepeda.
Pedro Ramos, another one. Zoyo Versailles, I believe, was a Cuban.
Arocha was able to come over, and if you talk to baseball people, scouts particularly, that go down into Latin America, Central America, and they'll tell you that if the gates would ever open from the country of Cuba, that there would be an overwhelming number of players good enough to play in the major leagues, because the Cubans dominate every level of amateur competition. Their Olympic team is unbeatable.
Well, tell me, I've heard the estimate as high as 50 Cuban players right now good enough to play in the major leagues, and of course you never know until you'd see the players come over here. But certainly it would change the complexion of American baseball. Sandberg able to foul that one off by throwing the bat. He's been doing a lot more of that lately, and I'm wondering, Tom, if that doesn't have anything to do with getting hit on the hand and maybe not having quite the hand strength that he had over the last couple of years. He lets the bat go, able to stay alive by doing that on a pretty good slider low and away. We never saw Sandberg do that the last few years, but coming back from the broken hand, you can understand it.
1-2, Arocha to Sandberg, and he laid off this time.
Now, when he had Sandberg, a two-strike situation in the third inning, he tried to throw the fastball inside. And broken hand or not, when Ryne Sandberg has a good stroke, you don't get anything by him inside.
Break-even pitch, and he came back inside and low, 3-2. White Smith, the leadoff home run to the bleachers in left center to begin this fifth inning, and the Cubs own a 4-3 lead. One out, nobody on. Well, he tried it again. Sandberg smoked it well foul.
Well, I got to believe that Arocha is going to have to go back to the slider here and try to throw it away from Sandberg. I don't think he's going to get much out of those inside fastballs. Let's watch the slider.
Popped it up. Geronimo Pena on the right side of the Cardinal infield has it for out number 2.
We had some offensive fireworks early in the game, and it's no mistake. This is a graphic illustration of the Jekyll and Hyde ballpark that Wrigley Field is. With the wind blowing out, it is very difficult to hit the ball out. Wind blowing in, different story as you look at Ozzie Smith, where he hits the ball left-handed. And I don't know about that graphic.
Base into center field. And Langford has it, which ends the inning. Ozzie will be up in 9 batters from now. We go to the 6th. It is a 4-3 Cub lead.
I don't need some fancy cologne to tell me I'm a man. I use Skin Bracer. It smells great, but it also cools and tones my skin. Confidence is very sexy. Don't you think?
Skin Bracer Aftershave.
By Menon. I used pressure-treated lumber, and I still have $800 in water damage. How come?
Even treated wood needs Thompson's Water Seal waterproofer. Without Thompson's, you're wide open for water damage. Thompson's. Don't wait until it's too late.
I'm Jim Martindale, here to tell you about the one and only Garden Weasel. This 5-in-1 tool makes gardening fun and easy. The 3 rotary action blades mesh with the topsoil, uprooting young weeds and creating a beneficial mulch. Remove the center blade for hard-to-reach areas. The Weasel is virtually self-cleaning. There's only one Garden Weasel, and it's backed by a 100% lifetime guarantee.
The Garden Weasel is available at Kmart, Sears, Walgreens, and Frank's. Makes a great gift for friends who garden. Get yours today while supplies last.
Hey kids, join Cubs manager Jim Lefevre, Derek May, Sammy Sosa, and a host of Cubs players and coaches for the 2nd annual All-Star Kids Clinic, sponsored by Dial Soap and WGN-TV. Don't miss your chance to go on the field at Wrigley and learn hitting, pitching, and fielding from the pros. There will be special appearance by Bozo the Clown, and everyone attending receives a Cubs sports bag filled with prizes. Tickets are just $10 per person. For more information, call 312-404-CUBS.
The Chris Everett Special. Celebrity interviews from a celebrity's point of view.
Sunday night at 10:30 on Channel 9. The true story of one of America's greatest military minds. Gregory Peck, MacArthur. Tonight at 7.
Well, not a piece of good news for Cub fans. Ryne Sandberg has had to leave the game. Eric Yelding takes over for him at second base with the Cubs leading 4-3 as we begin the 6th.
And Tommy, we can only speculate. The fact that Ryne Sandberg threw the bat at the ball, didn't look like he was real comfortable when he did that, and maybe he's experiencing some more hand problems. We'll just have to wait until we get some sort of update, which we will get probably during the course of this inning. But the Cubs do have the lead, and it's up to Sean Bosky now to protect it. And he's given up just 2 hits since the 2nd inning, one of them the long ball to Gilkey.
Jeffries to begin things, and he swings at the first pitch, lifts it to center field. 1 pitch and 1 out.
It looked like as he threw the bat at the ball, the bat just pretty much released, and I think Rhino hurt that hand, and probably they're checking on it right now as Sean Bosky changing speeds beautifully.
Ball 1 to Ray Langford. Langford is 0 for 2. He swings and misses. Bosky struck him out, which turned into a strike him out, throw him out double play when Jeffries was gunned down by Rick Wilkins at second base back in the 1st inning.
If you change up on Ray Langford, you're going to get him. He is geared up for the fastball. He's geared up mostly for the fastball middle in. You can stay away with the fastball, and you can throw him changeups all day long, and it's hard for him to adjust. This is a man that will strike out 150 times a year. As you look at Mike Harkey, another question mark on the pitching staff.
2-2 to Langford. Harkey did not go on the DL. Like Morgan, like Buechele, and like Hibbert, as it's taken outside. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Buechele, of course, having problems with an Achilles tendon, the heel area, and they told him to take it easy for a minimum of 6 days. And Langford takes ball 4, and that's not the man you want to walk.
Langford did steal a base yesterday, and he's got 9 this year, but he's been thrown out 7 times. So although Langford does have very good speed, he's not the accomplished base runner of some of the Cardinals we've seen in the past. Willie Wilson back, battling a case of the flu and a sore leg, so he's had some problems this year.
Over to first, Langford back. That is the first walk issued today by Sean Bosky. Mark Whitten singled and scored in 2 at-bats. His last time up, he flied to center fielder Dwight Smith. Cubs lead 4-3.
You see Whitten early in the season, not too much. The rest of the year, he starts to come alive. And I think the Cardinals are surprised just what they got in the Mark Whitten deal, because they got an excellent right fielder, one of the better defensive right fielders around, and a man with a gun of an arm. Might be the best in baseball.
Langford, a good lead, being held by Grace at first base. And Whitten swings and misses. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Maybe it's that Sean Bosky is feeling much more comfortable as the game has gone along, but it seems to me, probably on a tip from Billy Connors, that he's changed speeds a lot more in the last few innings, and it certainly has helped him. Wilkins calls for the throw to first, and there it is, but not too much happening over there, as Langford doesn't have a particularly big lead.
Well, now the ball on a throw over there gets away, and the runner will advance. So Langford does not have to steal second base on the errant throw by Bosky.
I'm not sure what Sean Bosky was trying to accomplish with that one, but Mark Grace wasn't paying attention. Joe West, the umpire, wasn't paying attention. And now this is coming back. This is where Bosky just flips it. Nobody's paying attention. The ball gets away. And there's Mark Grace having a conversation with Mark Whitten. And Langford was standing on the bag. I didn't know why that ball was thrown at all. And I think had Bosky thought about it a bit, he might not have thrown the ball either.
So now 2-1 to Mark Whitten. The tying run for the Cardinals is at second base. Whitten, a former Blue Jay and a former Cleveland Indian. 2-1 delivery. That'll be a foul ball, sending the count to 2-2, and Langford will make the U-turn. Gives us a chance to tell you that later tonight on WGN, although he may have been one of America's most brilliant military leaders, he was also one of the most controversial. Don't miss Gregory Peck's commanding performance as a 5-star general in MacArthur. Tonight at 7 on WGN Channel 9. 4-3 game. Cubs lead the Cardinals here in the 6th inning. 1 out, Langford at second base. And 2-2 to Whitten. Full count.
Whitten is probably the only Cardinal on a day-to-day basis that you would really worry about the long ball, because he is the most powerful of all of their hitters.
Long pause by Bosky, and he got him swinging on a pitch high and away. I think Whitten was asking for timeout, and he's wondering why Charlie Williams didn't give it to him, because certainly he waited long enough on Bosky.
Well, that's the hitter's fault, because just because you ask for timeout doesn't mean you're going to get it. You hear him saying right there, time. No time forthcoming, and he gets a changeup out away from himself.
Oh, we've given word on Sandberg that his hand is not bothering him after all. He left the game with a slight groin pull. That one fouled out of play and into the seats by Todd Zeal. And that's not a good injury.
No, that's an injury that can linger for a while. So we'll let you know as we move along about Ryne Sandberg. I'm sure he'll be listed day to day. But that's a lesson for all you young hitters out there. You might ask for time, but you have to wait till the umpire acknowledges that timeout. You have to stand in the box ready to hit. Charlie Williams did not give the time to Witten, and it cost him a strikeout. And even though he might not have been happy, that was his own fault.
1-1 to Zeal, who had an RBI double off the ivy and dead center back in the second inning, knocking in Witten, and he flied to center in the fourth. Langford the tying run at second base with 2 out here in the sixth. Cubs in front 4-3. Boy, another good off-speed pitch by Bosky.
I'm not sure if that's the slider or if that's not the new pitch that Sean says that he's been working on, and that's the cut fastball. He said that he came up with that pitch in the spring. He used it at AAA. He went 6-1 down there, and the cut fastball being a big part of his repertoire.
In the dirt. Gets away from Wilkins, but the runner will not advance.
And I wouldn't be surprised if they thought about putting the lights on here at Wrigley Field now. It's starting to cloud up. The weather report was that we would get a build-up and then perhaps a thunder shower later today, as this one stopped very nicely by Rick Wilkins.
So 2-2 to Zeal. 2 men out. Langford at second base. The Cubs in front by a run. A big pitch coming up for Sean Bosky, and Zeal wants timeout.
And as we know, the reason why the lead is very important is if it does rain very hard, you want to be ahead because this is an official game.
3-2 now to Todd Zeal. Zeal has struggled most of this season. The batting average right around 230. He does have 27 batted in, but surprisingly only 1 home run. And it's ball 4. Pena might be called back. Geronimo Pena's due up. He's looked miserable in 2 at-bats against a right-hander today.
And you're right, Tom. He is being called back, and I got to believe it's going to be Luis Alicea. Alicea, the switch-hitting counterpart at second base, hitting .322 as a left-hand hitter this year, .289 as a right-hand hitter, and .333 overall. 5 for 10 with 4 runs driven home as a pinch hitter. And that's who Bosky will have to face in a situation with the tying run at second, the go-ahead run at first.
You know, you were talking yesterday about Ozzie Smith and how he put on 15 pounds of muscle and improved greatly as a hitter. I think the same holds true for Alicea. Remember, he came to the big leagues as Scanlon will now begin to get loose in the big league, in the bullpen. But when Alicea first came up, I mean, he was thin as a rail. You look at his arms down there in the on-deck circle now, thick, and the muscles bulging out of there. They look like toothpicks a few years ago.
Well, he was given every opportunity to win the second base job, and when he couldn't do it, that's when Jose Oquendo switched from backup shortstop to everyday second baseman. But Alicea has become quite a threat, and Billy Connors walking out slowly. One of the reasons is that Sean Bosky is right at the 102 pitch mark. And after walking a couple of guys, nothing can be gained in this at-bat, although Bosky hasn't seen Alicea. They're going to go over the scouting report on him, but they want to give some time for Scanlon to get loose. If Bosky doesn't get Alicea, Scanlon should be ready to go to face Pagnazzi, who's had a couple of very good at-bats against Bosky.
Well, the meeting is over. The Cubs are holding a 4-3 lead in the 6th inning, but 2 walks have gotten Bosky into trouble. Chuck McElroy, he's feeling a lot better. He will not be available to pitch today. As Tony mentioned, he's feeling very tired after suffering a heat stroke yesterday, but he thinks he'll be ready tomorrow. All right, Langford at second base, Zeal at first. Here's Alicea, and he looks at a ball down low. Alicea, big game yesterday. A single, a double, a run scored, an infield hit, and another run scored. 2-0. So Joe Torre, realizing the bad weather might be on the way, electing here in the 6th to take down Pena and give Alicea a chance at the very minimum to tie this game up. 2-1 to the pinch hitter.
3 straight off-speed pitches to Luis Alicea. Outfield shaded him a couple steps to pull. And a pretty fast man at second base in the person of Ray Langford.
Just under the knees. 3-1 now to Alicea. A hitter's pitch coming up.
And if he doesn't get him, it's going to be an interesting decision for Jim Lefevre as to who he will go to.
2 on, 2 out. 3-1 pitch. Ball 4. Bosky has walked, the bases loaded. He just might be out of gas.
Well, I got to believe that he's going to go to Bob Scanlon. I think that he wants some time on the mound wasted. Rick Wilkins went out to talk with Bosky. So far, Jim Lefevre standing down there. He has not got the signal yet that Scanlon is ready. And let's see if Vizcaino... No, he doesn't have to. Jim Lefevre's coming out. That's going to be it.
Well, Bosky certainly had settled down nicely since giving up single runs in each of the first 3 innings. He's only allowed 1 hit ever since. But here in the 6th, he's walked, the bases loaded. Still no signal yet down to Bob Scanlon. Of course, he does have to do it now because Billy Connors has already made a trip to the mound. It'll be Scanlon. Bases loaded when we come back. Cubs in front of the Cardinals 4-3. Back right after this.
I was born to make you happy. I think it's just my style. What would I do if I didn't have you? Love to see you smile. I love to see you smile.
If I have anything to say about it, there's one thing Chicago won't repeat this year.
Well, a spree of violence, looting, and arson in the wake of...
When we've needed your support, you've never let us down. So don't let us down now.
Left more than 1,000 people arrested and 93 police officers injured.
We make it a three-peat on the court. Let's not make a repeat in the streets.
Cubs leading 4-3, but the Cardinals have the bases loaded with 2 men out. And now on the pitch, right-hander Bob Scanlon.
This is a big appearance for Bob Scanlon, who's 1-3. The ERA .411 on for the 34th time. 30 2/3 innings, 26 hits. He's given up a couple of homers. He's walked 12. He's fanned 19. There's the last appearance against the Florida Marlins. Pretty good appearance for Scanlon. He appeared in every game of that series. And there's the career numbers, 2-2, high ERA of .467. So Jim Lefevre against the Marlins used a proven theory. He went from Ossenmacher to Scanlon to Myers. And he did that all 3 games, and they won all 3 games. Yesterday, none of those 3 appeared in the game. The Cubs lost it. Today, he's hoping that the Ossenmacher-Scanlon connection, along with Randy Myers, perhaps can help the Cubs win this one. But first, he's got to get out of this inning.
So the bases are loaded for the Cardinals. They have Langford down at third, Todd Zeal at second base, and Luis Alicea over at first. 2 men are out. Pagnazzi the batter. We mentioned a moment ago, Pagnazzi had 2 very good at-bats against the right-hander Bosky. He lined to Smith in center in the 2nd inning, singled through the hole in left in the 5th. So Scanlon trying to put out the fire, and here comes the pitch. Strike 1 at the belt.
Pagnazzi in only his 2nd game since coming back to the major leagues. And he normally is a good contact hitter.
Bases jammed with 2 away. The 0-1, it's taken down. 1 ball, 1 strike. There you see Pagnazzi. What he's done against the Cubs in just the 2 games. We did not see him in St. Louis. Langford, Zeal, Alisea aboard. 1-1 pitch. Into center field. Smith on the run, and it's caught by Yelding. Eric Yelding, a Sandberg-like play to take away a couple of runs. So the Cardinals leave them loaded on the great play by Yelding, preserving the one-run lead.
A participating advertiser in Cubs baseball is Pepsi. Gotta have it.
The laboratories of 2001 announced a major breakthrough in auto protectant technology, Formula 2001 Super Protectant. Its advanced SunStop formula helps protect against the sun's UV rays, extreme temperatures, and moisture, which cause fading, drying, and cracking. What's more, independent lab tests prove Formula 2001 provides a more brilliant, longer-lasting shine than Armor All on vinyl and leather. But what if your car's surfaces are already faded? We went to the Arizona desert to put Formula 2001 Super Protectant to the ultimate test. Watch what happens to UV faded vinyl, rubber, even dried faded leather. Get the new standard in automotive protectant technology, the one with 50% more active shining ingredients than Armor All. Formula 2001 Super Protectant with a fresh leather fragrance. And for the unique demands of tire care, get new Formula 2001 Tire Foam and Shine. Just spray and walk away. Get 2001 at these fine stores.
Come on, let's get a cold one.
Our total attendance for today's game.
Oh, would you look at this beer line? I'm going to go back.
What? Foul ball? No, I'm not.
Foul ball! Foul ball! Out the way! I got it!
If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down,
Make it 2 Bud Lights, please.
make it a Bud Light.
Hey, you got another ball?
The Chris Everett Special. Celebrity interviews from a celebrity's point of view.
Sunday night at 10:30 on Channel 9.
Tom Brenneman back with Steve Stone at Wrigley Field in Chicago. What a play by Eric Yelding to take away a hit and at least 2 Cardinal runs in the top of the 6th inning. So the 1-run lead intact for Derek May. Rene Arocha still on the mound. May will be followed by Wilkins and Sosa. 2-0.
Watch the play by Eric Yelding. 2 runs for sure scoring. And the crowd told Ray Langford that the inning was over. An outstanding effort. Yelding with great speed, and he used it there.
3-1 now to Derek May. Well, you love seeing those guys who rarely get a chance to come up with a big play in a ball game. Lifted into short left. And Gilkey is there for out number 1. Remember a game earlier this season, Eric Yelding came up as a pinch hitter, got a base hit, stole second, scored the winning run. And for the guy who's a 24th man on the team, it makes everybody feel great around him.
Well, it makes them feel like part of the team because they don't get a chance to contribute too much. And in this case, Eric Yelding has kept the Cubs ahead and turned a decent performance for Sean Bosky in what could have been a lackluster performance. Tack a couple of more runs on that, and I think Bosky settled down nicely in the game. Of course, could be, Tom, that he just ran out of gas with the 3 walks because he hasn't walked anybody until that 6th inning. And Bob Scanlon came in, made a pretty good pitch. The Cubs got out of the inning.
Wilkins 1 out of 2 with a single and a run scored, and it's in the dirt from Arocha. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Now, Arocha has not completed a game this year. And with the pitches for him starting to pile up, maybe the Cubs can take advantage of it. Although it's not near as hot and muggy now as it was when the game started.
Two and one now to Wilkins. Well, you have to believe this is it for Arocha. He will lead off the Cardinals' 7th inning. 2-2 to the Cubs catcher.
See Wilkins asking Charlie Williams, the home plate umpire, if that was a strike. hitters want to know just exactly where the strike zone is. And I wouldn't be surprised if Arocha went low and in again. That's how he struck him out in the third inning.
Alicea can't get it into right field, and Wilkins has his second hit of the afternoon.
This one looked like it was going to bounce up, and I think that Luis Alicea thought it was going to bounce up, and it flattens out under his glove.
Cubs lead 4-3 here in the last of the sixth inning. Wilkins a one-out single, and that'll bring up Sosa, who's 0 for 2, did score a run after reaching on a fielder's choice in the second inning. What a play that was. Runners at first and second. Little flare out into short left. May had to wait to see if the ball would drop. It did in front of Gilkey, but he fielded it cleanly and got the force at third base.
A couple of Cub fans looking on, enjoying the day-to-day at Wrigley Field. It's become quite a comfortable day here, as the fans and the Cubs hoping that the rain holds off.
And the announcers.
It would be a shame if Arnie couldn't get to those courtside seats on time.
1 ball and 2 strikes. You got that right. It'd be a shame if you and I couldn't get back to our apartment along with the 38,000 plus here to watch the game later tonight.
You mean those hovels we call apartments?
The overly priced.
Well, let's see if Pagnazzi calls a slider low and away, because that's where Arocha should be going here.
2-2. Sammy, quite a game yesterday. Even with the 5 RBIs and the 2 home runs, he's been in a dreadful slump, and he made the comments following the ball game yesterday that the only way to break out of it is to go up there and keep swinging. Try and show a little patience and make better contact. 2-2 delivery. Popped up. This might have a chance to drop, and it will. Wilkins into second base. Sosa, the broken bat floater for a single to right center.
Alicea with a good effort. No chance at all for Langford, who was playing deep, and Alicea with the lunge at the end comes up a little short. This copyright telecast is presented by the authority of the Chicago National League Ball Club, which has a right of approval of the announcers and is intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Chicago National League Ball Club is prohibited.
There's a base hit. It'll bring in at least one. Sosa going to third. He'll be held there. And Sanchez has done it again. He had a 2-run double in the second, and he has an RBI double here in the sixth, making it a 5-3 Cub lead.
Ray Sanchez has been magnificent. This is a good pitcher's pitch. Low and away on the outside corner. Sanchez just reaches out, dumps it into right field, and the Cubs now have a 2-run lead and a chance to make it more. And Ray Sanchez with great plate coverage. There's not any single pitch that he can't handle. In the second inning, Arocha tried to go inside with a fastball, and he turned on it. This time he goes away with the slider, and Sanchez dumps it into right. And what an outstanding season he's turning in.
Well, a meeting behind the rubber, and now here comes pitching coach Joe Coleman. Scanlon is going to bat. There's nobody getting loose in the Cub bullpen. Lancaster, the right-hander, starting to get loose in the St. Louis pen. I believe the left-hander down there is Tom Urbani. But Scanlon is going to bat. You a little surprised by that?
I'm not surprised in that Jim Lefever's had bullpen problems, and he knows that. And the 3 men that he has the most confidence in are Scanlon, Ossenmacher, and of course Myers. Now, if you take down Scanlon here, you're looking at 2 innings out of Ossenmacher because you used the bullpen quite a bit yesterday. And I think that he wants Bob Scanlon with a 2-run lead to throw at least one more inning, perhaps inning and a third, inning and 2/3, then go to Ossenmacher, then Myers. And I think so he's gambling. With only 1 out, he realizes that the worst thing that could happen is Scanlon doesn't get anything done. You still have another out to score some runs, but Scanlon stays in the game. And in this situation, I'm not surprised at all that he's hitting.
Infield in against Scanlon, and he had a good cut on the first pitch from Arocha and fouled it back. Scanlon 0 for 1 this year. With a strikeout, he does have a sacrifice bunt. See if they'll surprise him with a squeeze. Taken high, 1-1.
Now, Scanlon began his baseball career, not his professional career, but his baseball career as a catcher. Quite obviously, at 6'8", he grew out of the position. But perhaps he can get a good swing with the infield in. All you need is a little popper somewhere.
Sosa and Sanchez aboard, and it's lined into left field. Gilkey will make the grab. Sosa tagging. Here he comes, and he'll make it. So Scanlon, he hit the ball like a guy 6'8", and it's a 6-3 Cub lead.
Gilkey doesn't have a chance to set up on this throw. Still makes a pretty good throw, but Sammy is so fast, he's able to beat the play. Now, Sammy at first didn't tag up. Then he goes back to the bag as Cottier's yelling at him to tag up, turns around, comes back down, and just completely outruns the ball. And Gilkey didn't think that Bob Scanlon would hit the ball like this. He rifles it to left field. You see Gilkey with no chance to set up, and that's the only thing that allowed Sammy to score.
So that's going to chase Rene Arocha. They're bringing on the left-hander Tom Urbani. As you get one more look, Sosa easily safe on the outline throw to Pagnazzi. We're going to take a break in the action. Cubs lead by 3. We're in the bottom of the 6th. Back in a flash.
If I have anything to say about it, there's one thing Chicago won't repeat this year.
Well, a spree of violence, looting, and arson in the wake of...
When we've needed your support, you've never let us down. So don't let us down now.
Left more than 1,000 people arrested and 93 police officers injured.
If we make it a three-peat on the court, let's not make a repeat in the streets.
So you can't look at, Beverly Hills Cop or Raw and go, oh, that's Eddie Murphy. All you know about me is what I showed you,
Sometimes I go to the grocery store and I read stuff in these newspapers and I go, what? Where did he get this from? This is ridiculous.
I don't believe in love at first sight. I believe in lust at first sight. Exactly.
The Chris Everett Special. Celebrity interviews from a celebrity's point of view.
Sunday night at 10:30 on Channel 9.
Arocha out, now on the pitch and face left-handed batting Dwight Smith is Tom Urbani.
Urbani with no record, but a high ERA of 8.44 on for the 8th time. He's only thrown 10 2/3 innings, but he's given up 17 hits, 10 earned runs, and a couple of homers. And the Cubs have a 3-run lead. Starting to get fairly comfortable with the wind blowing in. And Bob Scanlon has to be a pretty happy young man. That's the first pitcher's sacrifice fly of the year. And but for a fine catch by Gilkey, that one gets over his head and turns into a double. So Scanlon didn't look like a pitcher that time as he roped it, as you look at the clouds starting to build up in the Chicagoland area.
And it is the bottom of the 6th inning,
Does that mean that you will escape to the radio booth with nary a rain delay under your belt?
Perhaps.
That's okay. Arnie has those 10 World Series films already racked up and ready to go.
1 on, 2 runs in. The Cubs holding a 6-3 lead, and Smitty is swing and a miss. He gave the Cubs a 4-3 lead in the 5th inning with a home run to the bleachers in left center. His 8th home run of the season. He's only 1 away from tying his career high of 9 hit back in 1989. And those were not 2 good-looking cuts. Sanchez has knocked in half the Cub runs today on a pair of doubles. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Feel like the Cubs are pretty stocked at shortstop, do you?
Well, so stocked that they could allow Alex Arias, the last Cub to have 5 hits, to depart.
Smith will depart on strike 3. 2 runs, 3 hits, 1 left. Terry back in the 7th, then to 6. Cubs 6, Cardinals 3.
Goodbye, old Regal. Hello, new Regal. The 1993 Buick Regal sedan. This story isn't unusual. There's a real love affair between Buick owners and their automobiles. And the latest J.D. Power & Associates initial quality study ranks Regal sedan as the best car in its price class. The great American love story belongs to Buick.
The in-your-face fadeaway. Arc times velocity equals a 3-point shot. Translation, Electric Avenue beats the shorts off of Sears.
Scotty, just look at the Electric Avenue All-Star lineup. Sony, Panasonic, RCA, Apple, Maytag, GE. Plus, Electric Avenue will match any store's advertised price guaranteed.
Teeny little guys, weren't they?
The universe is full of certainties. The Earth will rotate every 23.9 hours. Halley's Comet will return in 68 years. And soon, nearly 15 million people will go bowling. Introducing Strike It Rich from the Illinois Lottery. The instant game where you could win up to $300 cash, but are guaranteed to win a game of bowling. So you can't lose. You can't stop it. So don't even try. Strike It Rich. Got a second? Play this instant.
Time magazine calls it a terrific movie. Robert De Niro. Brazil. Monday night at 11:30 on Channel 9.
Hello again, everybody. Harry Carey with Steve Stone and Tom Brenneman. As we go in the top of the 7th, the Cubs are out in front now, 6-3, as they try to even up the series. Gerald Perry's going to be the pinch hitter. Boy, what a play by Eric Yelding with the bases loaded, 2 out. Saved the day in the 6th. Perry, who used to be with the Atlanta Braves.
There's a look at one of the men of the moment, Eric Yelding, who came off the bench. Ryan Sandberg with a slight groin pull. And Eric came on to save a couple of runs.
He's 7 out of 21 as a pinch hitter, and 2 of his 7 hits as a pinch hitter have been home runs. Overall, he's hitting .308. With those 2 homers, 6 RBIs. 2 balls and a strike. Eric Yelding, just an unbelievable play. Strike call over the outside corner. 2 balls, 2 strikes. We're in the top of the 7th. Bouncing ball, could be fared down the third baseline. Perry goes halfway to second, changes his mind as Derek May makes a fine recovery and throw.
This one had 2 bases written all over it, and that's exactly what Gerald Perry thought as the ball gets down the line by Vizcaino. But a hustling Derek May comes over, and Perry puts on the brakes as Derek gets the ball back into second. And it goes as a single.
The Cubs with a 3-run lead. Here's Bernard Gilkey, a double and a homer. He's had home runs in each of the last 3 days. Twice against the Cubs. A 2-run homer yesterday, a leadoff homer in the 3rd today. Been a hot hitter, Bernard Gilkey. Perry, a good lead. The high ball, and the count evens up. Now the sun is shining at Wrigley Field. A lot of range expected. Quick throw to first. Hopefully long after the game's over. The Bulls will try to end the basketball season tonight. Here's a pitch low and outside. Two and one. Strike call. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 other game underway in the major leagues at Oakland, where Kansas City's leading 9-2 in the bottom of the 4th. Ball 3. The Cardinals have had 6 hits. The Cubs have had 9. There goes a runner, swung on the ground ball. Yelding tags him for 1 out. Throws it first on 2. Great play. Eric Yelding. And he tagged Perry very hard, too. And completed the double play.
Eric Yelding has shown an unbelievable sense of defense here. Coming off the bench, making a 4-3 double play. Carex donates $100 to Cubs Care. What an effort by Yelding. There is no doubt Gerald Perry intended to knock the ball clear into center field, but Yelding holds on and completes the double play. And 2 great plays for Eric Yelding that might save the game.
2 out now, nobody on. I tell you, the Cubs got a break, too, and in that, the hit and run was on with 3 and 2. Perry was breaking, and Yelding went over towards second base to take the throw in the event the batter struck out. And he ran right into the sharply hit ground ball off the bat of Bernard Gilkey. And if he'd have tossed the ball, there was nobody to toss it to yet. So he tagged Perry coming into him. Perry almost spun him completely around, and then he fired to first in time to get the double play. There's a ground ball off of Vizcaino's glove, a base hit for Ozzie Smith.
Paul Ossenmacher now loosening up in the bullpen as Ozzie Smith picks up a base hit, an inside-out swing, and a 1-hopper that Vizcaino can't corral at third base. And the inning kept alive, and now the double play looking a whole lot bigger for the Cubs.
Greg Jeffrey. Swings, he fouls it back. Now play with Perry on first to turn into such an outstanding play by Eric Yelding. If the count had not been 3 and 2 and the Perry had held, Gilkey's ball would have been a single to center. A little bit outside. 6-3 in favor of the Cubs. Ozzie Smith the lead. There's another hit in the center field. And Dwight Smith is on in a hurry. And now Ray Langford. There have been 3 hits in this inning out of 4 men who batted, yet there are 2 on and 2 out.
Well, it would appear that Paul Ossenmacher is not loose enough yet to come into the game, because when Billy Connors comes out, that means that it's just for a trip to the mound as opposed to taking him out of the game. Hassemacher hasn't had a chance to get loose yet, and so Scanlon will have to face Langford. This could be a dangerous situation because Langford doesn't hit left-handers very well, but can hit the right-handers.
And hit them with power, he does. Langford this year, though, has been held pretty well in check on the home runs. First pitch in there is strike called. He has 3 homers, 28 RBI. Time called. Ooh, he threw the fastball by him. Oh, and 2, be careful. Ground ball to short. Fumbles. And get the force out anyway. From Sanchez to Yelding to retire the side. Langford forces Jeffrey. And we go into the bottom of the 7th with the Cubs leading 6-3.
Cities on 5 continents, proudly unveils a plane no bigger than your hand. It comes with McDonald's Friendly Skies meals for kids, the food kids love. Because when you're big, you should always remember the little. United. Come fly the Friendly Skies.
Hosted by Eddie Murphy, the exotic and tantalizing MTV Movie Awards.
Wednesday night at 7 on Channel 9. Vizcaíno with the count 1-1 leads it off here in the bottom of the 7th. The Cubs are out in front 6-3. They averted a bullet in the 7th. Now the pitch. Whoa, hit by a pitch ball. He's limping around. We've had Ryan Sandberg out of the ball game with, wait a minute now.
He called a strike. He said that Vizcaíno swung at that pitch, and Vizcaíno can't believe it. Paul Kilgus on the mound throws a slider in, and Vizcaíno trying to get out of the way of it. That's a terrible call by Charlie Williams, because once you spin out, there's nothing you can do. And Charlie Williams not even waiting for the appeal down to Joe West. Watch it again. Watch his hands. He's just trying to spin out to get out of the way of this. And he called a strike, and Vizcaíno will not go to first base.
So he is struck out. And Kilgus now will face Eric Yelding, who replaced Sandberg.
Watch this play that ended the top of the 7th. Sanchez fumbles, recovers, and barely gets to Yelding in time to end the inning. Kilgus got a good curveball. It seems to be coming in the right-handed hitters.
Jose might have had the dubious distinction of getting hit twice in the same at-bat, only he got out of the way of that one.
Now the pitch outside, ball 3. So the count on him goes to 3-2. A high pop fly on the infield. LSC is there. 1 out. And here is Yelding. 1 out of 3 was Sandberg's contribution, a big RBI in the 3rd that tied up the ball game.
And Yelding should get a big hand from the crowd, and well-deserved, because he made a couple of outstanding defensive plays.
Pitch outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Two balls, no strikes. Yelding, a good man to have on the ball club. He can do things. He can run. He's versatile. He can play any infield position. And he's used as a pinch hitter. There's a base hit in the center field. Yelding singles the center. And here's Mark Grace 0 for 3. The sun is shining now. It's a peculiar day. It's cooled off considerably. The wind no longer is blowing out. Kilgus replaced Urbani, who replaced Arocha.
That was a pitch
out. It was supposed to be a pitch out. I don't know whether it was or not.
That one had part of the plate. I think Tom Pagnazzi was a little surprised. It was high, but it looked like it had the outside corner. It's supposed to be a pitch out. Take a look at Pagnazzi.
Yeah.
This one very close to Mark Grace.
1 ball, no strikes. Kilgus, who used to be with the Cubs. Eric Yelding may have hurt his foot getting back to the bag.
I think the move surprised him at first base, and he came back in and jammed his left foot. And hopefully he'll be okay. They've been dropping like flies this past week.
Jeffries, the first baseman. Mark Grace, 1 ball, no strike. Oh, they got him picked off. And he's going to be out. And he is. 1-3-6.
Good move by Paul Kilgus, and then a good play by Jeffries to get an angle on this throw. And he throws it right on the button, and the ball is waiting for Yelding to arrive.
So there's 2 away. Cubs lead by 3, but everybody knows the ability of the Cardinals to come from behind. Pitch inside. 2 balls, no strikes. In the bottom of the 7th. Ball 3 low. And Derek May will be next. Another full house. Pulled it foul on 3-0.
He had the green light. .120 game tomorrow, right?
That's what it is.
3 balls, 1 strike. Ground ball to Elicia. Over to first to retire the side. We go into the 8th. The score, the Cubs 6, the Cardinals 3.
Duty, honor, country.
Brilliant, decisive, controversial.
That man's trying to start World War III, and I'm trying to prevent it. I will not be the leader of another lost cause.
One of America's greatest military minds, Gregory Peck, MacArthur. Tonight at 7 on Channel 9.
For as long as anyone can remember, the Roadmaster name has graced only automobiles of great strength and security. Buick Roadmaster for 1993 is no exception. Consider, for example, the protection of Roadmaster's full perimeter frame. Its V8 power, anti-lock brakes, and driver airbag. Buick Roadmaster, perhaps the world's best value in a traditional luxury car.
If you're concerned about getting rid of weeds this way, try a better way. I'm Jim Martindale, here to introduce you to the Weed Popper. Place the Weed Popper next to a weed, step down, and the weed pops right out. The Weed Popper pulls weeds without kneeling, bending, and without chemicals that may be dangerous to our groundwater supply. The Weed Popper, with its 100% lifetime guarantee, pops weeds out as easy as 1, 2, 3.
The Weed Popper is available at participating Our Own, Coast to Coast, Hardware Hank, and Service Star. Makes a great gift for friends who garden.
Play some games. Meet the pros. Express your energy on Energy Express. This week at a special time, Saturday at noon. Time magazine calls it a terrific movie. Robert De Niro. Brazil. Monday night at 11:30 on Channel 9.
Harry Carey back at Wrigley Field. Bob Scannell will face Mark Whitten, who's 1 out of 3. You know, watching Ozzie Smith, the shortstop, 38,000 plus. There's a smash on the ground. Yelding throw. Out on a close play. He threw a one-hop throw, and Grace caught it perfectly. And Whitten is out.
This is turning into the Eric Yelding defensive highlight film. He is doing it all at second base. He skips it across, and he gets it there just in time. And the call by Joe West. 3 outstanding defensive plays by Eric Yelding. And for a man who doesn't play very much, he's got it all together this afternoon.
1 man out. And here is Todd Zeal. I think everybody knows Louis Aparicio played more games at shortstop than anybody else. Might be interesting to see how close Ozzie Smith is. Here's a pitch outside. There they are. Aparicio, 2,581 games. Ozzie Smith, 2,245 as of today. Larry Bow is third. Luke Appling fourth. Jenny and Jim Taylor from East Moline. Related to Spike Odell of WGN. Are here. And Pam, Jeff, and Tony from East Moline are also on hand. Here's ball 4. And Zeal is on with 1 out. And Louis Alicia. We'd like to offer our congratulations to the Cub crowd control supervisor, Jim DeJohn, and his wife Margaret on the birth of their daughter Laura Ann. There's Randy Meyer. Good fastball. Alessio walked as a pinch hitter. He chased the forkball.
Outfield playing Louis as a pull hitter. The big gap in left center.
Ooh, he almost had that inside corner.
That was a pretty good pitch, and Charlie Williams thought it might have been a little too inside, but the ball had the whole plate. And I don't know if Charlie thought it was high, but it was right there as we take another look at it. Doesn't get much better than this. Wilkins wants it in, and he hits the glove.
There's a base hit. And after coming so close to being called out on strikes on the next pitch, he singles to right. And now the Cardinals threaten again, and here comes Jim Lefevre.
Now, Randy Myers has just had an opportunity to throw a couple of pitches. It was Paul Assenmacher up earlier. But Jim Lefevre will spend as much time on the mound as possible, as Charlie Williams will let him have his say, but he's not going to let him spend, I don't know, enough time to get Randy Myers completely loosened up.
Well, Scanlon will stay in there. Leading the league in saves are Randy Myers and Lee Smith. Lee Smith of the Cardinals, Randy Myers, of course, of the Cubs. They each have 21. Pagnazzi, 1 for 3. Fouls off the first pitch.
Pagnazzi's grounded into 2 double plays this year, but he's been a tough man to strike out. In fact, in 88 at-bats, he's only fanned 3 times. So he will get the bat on the ball, and it was on his looper that Eric Yelding made the first of his 3 fine plays.
There's a long drive in the right center field going by. Holy cow! What a play by Sammy Sosa! And he has saved the day for the moment. Boy, the Cubs defense has just been outstanding. Look at Sammy.
Well, Sammy has said many times if he's not doing it with his bat, he's got to do it with his glove, and this one almost came out of the glove. He made a great catch, and you could see the ball rolling from the palm of the glove to the web of the glove as Sammy keeps it in the glove and retires Pagnazzi. The glasses fly off. What a play by Sammy Sosa. And the defense today for the Cubs has just been spectacular.
And the guy who's been robbed the most has been Tom Pagnazzi. With the bases loaded, Eric Yelding made that unbelievable play to end the 6th. And now again against Pagnazzi, Sammy Sosa, with 2 men on base, races in the deepest corner of right center to make a spectacular catch. And now Jim Brewer, I think. Yes, that's going to be off for Scanlon. Here comes Randy Myers in. And we'll have more following this message.
This is your world, genuine and true, working together in all that you do, and you're giving it your best. Proud to be your bud. Budweiser. Proud to be your bud.
There are many ways to save, like putting your money here or reading your money here in the Chicago Tribune. Your money helps you save with everything from financing a home, investing, and more. And as the new home of Tribune Classified, it's your best source for smart shopping with a new, easier-to-use design. Plus, expert writers help you save big on used cars, employment opportunities, real estate, and financial planning. So put your money to work for you, Monday through Friday, in the newspaper that pays for itself, the Chicago Tribune.
Can't believe he broke it at the company picnic.
Incredible. Our employee health plan covers him, right?
Not deductibles or co-payments.
So he has to lay out his own money.
Gaps in your health plan can be costly. Aflac can help. Aflac is a leader in supplemental insurance with 35 years of dependable service. Today, employees of over 80,000 companies count on Aflac for the peace of mind to get on with life.
Any ideas?
Yeah, Aflac.
Aflac, insuring over 35 million people worldwide.
Hosted by Eddie Murphy, the exotic and tantalizing MTV Movie Awards.
Wednesday night at 7 on Channel 9.
The Chris Everett Special. Celebrity interviews from a celebrity's point of view.
Sunday night at 10:30 on Channel 9.
Well, the Cubs have had more lives and more perils than Pauline today. Great defenses held their lead for them. Randy Myers in there to face Tracy Woodson, a third baseman. He's 2 out of 8 as a pinch hitter. He's hitting .220 for the year. Has good power, used to be with the Los Angeles Dodgers. Fastball is high.
Randy Myers looking for save number 22. He's on for the 29th time. The ERA a fine 191. He's walked 11. He's fanned 38. The Cardinals have runners at the corners.
Pitch is high. Alessia is at first. Tonziel's at third. He advanced after the catch on Sosa's remarkable play. A high fly ball ought to be caught. Dwight Smith is there. He has it to retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, 2 left. We go in the bottom of the 8th. The Cubs still lead 6-3.
A participating advertiser in Cubs baseball is United. Chicago's hometown airline is proud to be the official airline of the Chicago Cubs.
To celebrate Buick's 90th anniversary, we proudly introduce the 90th anniversary LeSabre. LeSabre has a proven reputation for quality and the highest pre-sale value in its class. Now you get all this Buick quality, comfort, and elegance at a special anniversary price. The 90th anniversary Buick LeSabre. Quality its competition just can't hold a candle to.
My customers look to me, to True Value, for something they can't get in those big warehouse stores. They know I'll take time to answer their questions, and I've got the right products. Real True Values.
Like the June hardware value of the month. This Master Electrician double bonus extension cord. You get a 30-foot cord, including 5 bonus feet and a cord lock. And in June, it's just $3.99 while quantities last.
You know, the name says it all. True Value.
We've changed our aisles. We've changed our styles. We've changed our lines. We've changed our signs. We've changed displays and we've changed our ways. Yes, things are changing at Montgomery Ward. Things are changing at Montgomery Ward.
The true story of one of America's greatest military minds. Gregory Peck, MacArthur, tonight at 7.
We go in the bottom of the 8th. I wish I had one of those shirts. Rob Murphy, the new pitcher for the Cardinals. And Derek May will lead off against him. There's a drive way back. Near the fence is Whitten. And he makes the catch right at the exit gate.
Couple innings,
deep right center.
Couple innings earlier, and that's a home run. But now the wind has freshened up. It's blowing straight in. And all Derek May has for this at-bat is a long fly ball.
And so Derek is 1 for 3 for the day, and here's Wilkins. His average has gone up. He's had 2 hits. He's in a very respectable 284 or so. 1 strike and nothing.
Last year, Rob Murphy appeared in 59 games for Houston, so he was durable. Had a 3-1 record, a high ERA of 4.04. That's his career numbers against the Cubs, and they've handled him very well.
The Cardinals will have the top of their batting order coming up in the 9th. One ball, 1 strike. Sammy Sosa will be next. Whoa! Ron Murphy hit on the side. A base hit. Let's see if he's hurt. Apparently not. Boy, that was a bullet hit right back at him by Rick Wilkins.
Well, Murphy got hit very solidly by this shot off the bat of Wilkins. And Murphy deflects it. They can't get Wilkins as he gets his 3rd hit of the day. And this one, a very painful base hit for Rob Murphy. Watch it again. And we'll see it gets him. It looks like in the thigh. It looks like the right thigh. And hopefully it got a little meat and not any bone. I think he's going to be okay. He's acting like it's going to be sore, but I don't think it got the knee. And I think that's the big thing. Yeah, it's the thigh, and it's just above the knee. And I think he's going to be okay.
They're going to let him throw a couple to see how he feels. So with 1 out, there's a runner at first. Let's pause here for station identification.
This is WGN-TV Chicago, America's #1 sports station.
Well, the Cubs are very close now to the 1,100,000 mark in home attendance.
Murphy's going to leave the game. And that has as much to do with Sosa and Sanchez as it does the fact that he had a line drive off his leg. And it's Les Lancaster, former Cub, doing a fine job with the Cardinals coming in. He'll have as much time as he wants to loosen up. And he usually doesn't take a whole lot of time. I'm kind of thinking that Joe Torre would have gone to Lancaster anyway. But we hope that Murphy is okay.
Les Lancaster will be allowed as much time as he needs to get ready. He's won 3, he's lost none. A good earned run average, 3.29. 2 home runs have been hit off him. And opposing hitters have hit him at a 255 average.
You know, Joe Torre said something interesting. He said he always had good luck as a hitter in this ballpark, especially when he was a member of the St. Louis Cardinals. And in those days, it was Red Schoendienst who was the manager of the Cardinals. And he said he'd get a couple of hits, maybe 3 of them on occasion. We'd have one of the games like we did yesterday where everybody was hitting the ball, and then he'd come in and tell Red, okay, now find somebody to go out and hold him. He said now he's the manager of the team, and he realizes that on a hitter's day, which it was when this game started before the wind turned around, that he was the man responsible for finding somebody who could get someone out of that bullpen. And yesterday, 6 pitchers employed by Joe Torre. Today, Lancaster is the 5th. And he knows in his ballpark, especially in a 4-game series, which is what the Cardinals are involved in now, you can go through an entire pitching staff in a hurry and leave Chicago with a bunch of ragged arms out of that pen.
And that goes to the home team, too.
Well, unfortunately, the home team stays here most of the time, Harry. And they don't leave after that. So on a hitter's day, the bullpens pile up the earned runs.
Look at that, Oakland. Kansas City builds up a 9-2 lead in the 3rd. Now at the end of 5, it's 9-8. Kansas City made 7 in the 2nd. Oakland made 6 in the bottom of the 5th. Here's the big 6 coming up. So here's Sammy Sosa.
Wild pitch. There goes a run to the second base. Wilkins round second, holds up.
That's the third wild pitch of the year for Les Lancaster, and that one was well off the plate. So the first slider, not even close. The 17th wild pitch of the year for the Cardinals.
Sosa, besides making a sensational catch that may have saved the day, has also scored 2 runs. One in the second. He singled and scored in the 6th. A little bit low outside. Ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Sosa with 11 homers now for the year. Wilkins with 12 leads the team. There's a drive foul. He turned on that one. 2 balls and the strike. Well, we should have brought sweaters out here.
As it turned out, but you'd be hard-pressed to wear a sweater when this game started down there on the field.
Boy, it was
doing a great deal of sweating. But the wind shifts, it blows in off the lake, and things cool off around the old ball yard.
2 balls and the strike. Curve inside, ball 3. Ray Sanchez, who's driven in 3 runs today, will be next. Had a good cut, fouled it back. The count long, 3-2. Randy Myers will be next. Earlier this year, he doubled in the left center. Driving in 2 runs. There's a drive. It may be out of here. It could be. It is. Holy cow. Sammy Sosa drives in Rick Wilkins with a home run that ties Wilkins for the team lead.
Home run number 12, RBIs 34 and 35. And Montgomery Ward donates $200 to Cubs Care for the blast off the bat of Sammy Sosa. The third given up by Les Lancaster, and he is greeted rudely by his former teammates as he comes in to give an earned run to Rob Murphy, as well as one for himself.
And now for Sammy, 35 RBIs for the year. Look at Sammy. You gotta love that guy. He's such a happy-spirited man. 0-1 the count. And Sanchez takes a slider in there. Now the Cubs have what would seem a safe lead, 8-3. There's another hit for Sanchez. He ran first. He's going to hold up there.
We'll isolate on Sammy Sosa as he gets one out over the plate, and he pretty much knows this is gone when it leaves the bat. Into the home run trot. And Sammy with 3 home runs the last 2 days. More importantly, 7 driven in the last 2 days.
You know, Sanchez had 3 out of 6 yesterday. He's had 3 out of 4 today. Attaboy, Sammy.
Randy Myers takes his hitting seriously. And you can understand it, hitting .500.
There's a pitch outside. You know, Governor Edgar is in the hospital, you know, for some surgery. And he's watching the ball game. And he sends a message that he's feeling better already because of the score, with the Cubs now leading 8-3. Boy, you talk about a team victory. This is certainly one today. Here's Myers bunting one. He's out at first, but he's credited with a sacrifice. So he keeps his 500 batting average, 1 out of 2.
Randy Myers lays down a pretty good bunt. Has the head of the bat up and puts it in a good spot.
I hope Randy hasn't tired himself out running so hard. He's really hustling down the line.
Randy is one of the hardest workers I have ever seen, so I'm sure that he's going to feel pretty good about the 5-run lead with needing only 3 outs to pick up the save.
Here now is Dwight Smith. One ball, no strikes. We're in the bottom of the 8th. The Cubs are leading 8-3. The Cubs forged into the lead on Dwight Smith's home run to open the 5th inning. That made it 4-3, and since then they've been adding. What do you think Myers is talking about? Sammy's home run or his bunt?
Oh, most likely his bunt being the turning point in the ball game.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Yesterday, the Cubs hit 3 home runs, pounded out 19 hits, and lost 11-10. Today, they've hit 2 home runs, and they're winning 8-3. There's a long drive, will be caught by Langford to end the inning. And so, the Cubs pick up 2 more runs, 3 hits, 1 man left on base, and at the end of 8, the Cubs are leading 8-3.
It's amazing how it grew and grew. That little company you started in your garage. And now you've got an automobile whose drive for quality matches your own. The Buick Park Avenue Ultra. With its supercharged engine, the Park Avenue Ultra is proof you still take pride in what comes out of your garage.
Any deodorant will do if you're at a standstill. But movers and shakers need the 24-hour power of Speed Stick Antiperspirant. It's 110% protection against wetness and odor. 110% protection for movers and shakers. Speed Stick.
Want to break a European's heart? Let him test drive a Buick Park Avenue Ultra for 2 weeks. Then take it away. You see, the Ultra, with its supercharged engine, luxury appointments, and Buick quality, is built in such limited quantities, it's just not available in Europe yet. Want to break a European's heart? Let him drive an Ultra. Then take it away.
So I'm barbecuing for 30. I got the best steaks, I got the cheap charcoal, and I got burned.
Fire's out.
Don't get burned by cheap charcoal. Buy the best.
Kingsford, the surefire. The Chris Everett Special. Celebrity interviews from a celebrity's point of view.
Sunday night at 10:30 on Channel 9. A true story of one of America's greatest military minds. Gregory Peck, MacArthur. Tonight at 7.
Harry Carey back at Wrigley Field. Here's a Buick game summer to date. The Cubs are leading 8-3. St. Louis is 2-27 when trailing after 8 innings. Sanchez 3 out of 4 today. And Sosa, a 2-run homer, his 12th of the year, tying him with his teammate Rick Wilkins for the team lead. Gilkey leading off. 2 balls and a strike. Gilkey rather, has 2 out of 4, a home run in the third, a double in the first, 2-run score. Outstanding left fielder. Randy Myers came in leading only by 3 with a couple men on base. Now he leads by 5. He can take over the league lead from Lee Smith with a save in this one. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Third game of the series tomorrow, and then Sunday the finale. And then the Cubs hit the road for a long road trip. Donovan Osborne pitching for the Cardinals tomorrow. Jose Guzman for the Cubs. The leadoff man at 1 o'clock, the game time 1:20. And so will it be Sunday. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And the Chicago Bulls will try to end the basketball season tonight at the stadium by beating the Phoenix Suns. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ball 3 low. Wait a minute. They appeal it. No. Say he did not go around. Gilkey. Hot shot. Hey, Yelding's got it over the first. That ball was hit hard. Yelding knocked it down, picked it up, and threw him out. Only 2 more to go. Here's Ozzie. He's 1 out of 4. He's second only to Louis Aparicio for playing the most games at shortstop during a career. 1 out, nobody on. Foul back. You know, the teams who could have won pennants and world championships, Jack Buck was telling me earlier, the Dodgers could have had Ozzie Smith several years ago. Didn't take him. The Mets could have had him. Didn't want to take him because of his salary. And the Cardinals were forced to keep him, and he probably is the outstanding ball player on their club. Really a tremendous ball player when you figure he's 38 years old. Fouls it out of play.
Tough to strike out Ozzie Smith. He's fanned only 8 times this year in 240 at-bats. So he's one of the toughest to strike out in the entire Major League.
There's a long drive in the left center field. Nobody's going to reach this one. Another extra base hit for Ozzie Smith. He had 5 out of 5 yesterday, 2 out of 5 today. He had 2 doubles and a home run included in his hits. Not a home run yesterday.
Right-handed, Ozzie Smith is a force offensively. He's a natural right-hand hitter. 23 of his 25 career home runs have come from the right side. And he drives this one into the gap, into the wind. It's a good thing the wind is blowing in, or that one would have been out of the park. And Randy trying to make it interesting with a 5-run lead.
Ozzie 7 out of 9 in the 2 games of the series with 6 RBIs yesterday. And he had 3 doubles and a sacrifice fly among his production yesterday. A double and a single today. Jeffrey takes it low. 8-3 in favor of the Cubs. We'll be back at 500 for the 19th time this year. Jeffries fouls it back. We're in the 9th. Jeffries 1 out of 4 today. 2 out of 9 over the 2 days. There's a drive. Sammy Sosa makes the catch. 2 away. And everybody's getting to their feet. Only one more man to get, Ray Langford, who's fanned 4 times over the last 2 days. He's nothing out of 3 today. Myers going for save number 22. 1 ball, 1 strike. Who's made a habit out of ending a game with a strikeout, is within 1 pitch of doing it again. Foul into the stand. Two men around. Ozzie Smith. Outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out.
The Cubs will have won 32 games total this year, and Randy Myers will have saved 22 of them.
Quite a year. Ball 3. 3-2. Mark Whitten will be next. But there are 2 out to count 3-2. Cubs leading by 5. Ball 4, he walked it. And here's Whitten, who's a switch hitter, will turn around and bat right-handed. Whitten 1 out of 4 today, 1 out of 5 yesterday. Strike call. A fastball at the knees. Bouncing ball, deflected, the throw, Cubs win, Cubs win, Cubs win. Randy Myers has picked up his 22nd save of the season. He deflected the last play to Sanchez, who threw Whitten out. We'll be back in a moment.
I got a phone call this morning from one of our oldest customers. He fired us. After 20 years, he fired us. Said he didn't know us anymore. I think I know why. We used to do business with a handshake.
The Budweiser play of the day with the score tied in the 5th inning. Dwight Smith led off with this smash into the left center field stand, putting the Cubs ahead 4-3, and they were never to relinquish their lead thanks to some sparkling defensive play. The producer director of Cubs baseball is Arnie Harris. The coordinating producer is Bill Morrison. Our associate producer, Joe Cornell. Our next telecast on Channel 9 will be between the Cardinals and the Cubs tomorrow afternoon. Our telecast begins with a leadoff man at 1 o'clock. Stay tuned now for the 10th inning show following immediately. The final score again, the Cubs win 8-3. Harry Carey from Wrigley Field. Go Bulls tonight. So long, everybody.
Chicago Cubs baseball on Channel 9. The Cubs are brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers, who remind you friends know when to say when. True Value Hardware Stores. Got a tough job to do? You can do it with True Value Hardware Stores. Buick and your local Buick dealers. Remember Buick, the new symbol for quality in America. And by the Chicago Tribune.